Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
At 14.
McElroy.
Same putt he's had all day, up and over a ridge, Colt.
How about it, Johnson? McElroy with a huge birdie.
Let's go to 13.
Rye to increase his lead. And he drops it in. These two to the final furlong. Napoleon Solo still there. Iron Honor on the outside. Cannot get him. Napoleon Solo and Paco Lopez have won the Preakness. They win it by a length over Iron Honor.
Went flipping into Dali behind the net. The other way comes Sucker. Hellenus scores! Hellenus makes it 5-3 Buffalo.
Put it behind his back. Rhinos send a 7-0 run. Spin it out basket. Oh, the way the basket. Oh, Wemby.
Herald saves this one deep to left center. Back it goes. Edgar Carroll works it off into 10. That's how you break out of the slump.
One ball, one strike. The Husker center fielder, leadoff hitter. This pitch is crushed to right. Sutherland to the track, to the wall. Mac Moyer just hit it off the scoreboard. A two-run bomb to right. And Nebraska has another two spot on the two-run shot from Moyer. It's 4-0 Nebraska.
0-2 with 2 on and 2 out. Jordy winds and kneels. Satcher swings and misses. Strike 3, and Nebraska is on to Super Regionals. They have won the Lincoln Regional Championship.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
I don't feel like
Better?
I don't know. I don't like the audio. I promise. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be crabby. I'm not.
Yeah,
I might. I don't know.
You got to choose joy today, DB.
I was choosing violence all weekend. I said, you know what? I ain't going to do it.
Yeah?
I don't care if you people use me on the social media.
You people? Who's you people?
I don't want to get into it. Not talking to you right now.
Thought we were doing a Robert Downey Jr. thing.
No, my poor daughter too. It's just a ton. Zoe's totally saved the weekend.
Yeah,
like bless her little. She legit may be the funniest person I know.
Yeah.
And so when I told you she had a little cough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And why was I talking to you so early?
Oh,
you told me I chose but you told me I chose violence. What started that? You're like I see you chose violence this morning.
No, you sent the video of the NFL games blown by dropped interceptions.
Sasha's stupid Patriots compounded the raggedy weekend, but I was like, man, why can't you? That's part of the reason I'm big on just catch the ball.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, and you saw in some of those key games, I had sent Ravi a TikTok of dropped interceptions that ended up costing teams the game.
Yeah, and it started with your team and it ended with my team.
Steelers, Patriots in the playoffs.
And then Rams, 49ers. And I go, I guess you're just choosing violence this morning, huh?
Yeah, but so, she's like, whatever. She had this little cough and, I'm super paranoid. Like that's one thing I probably overdo. So I'm like, I'm not even going to kid you, man. There's been a couple times where I probably over poured the medicine. It's like 5 milliliters and she may get 7.5. You know me, if a little's good, a lot's great.
Yeah, that's not how any of that works.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. Want to make that real
Who was
clear.
that in the stream? It's like, dude, you're going to shut your kidneys down. Those are prescription anti-inflammatories. I said, but I feel better. So after you showed me the blood sugar reading, I was like,
oh, yeah.
Dude, that thing was like...
That was bottomed out.
Yeah, that was in the valley.
Yeah. It tells you a number until a certain point. When it just says low, like you're in some trouble.
Yeah, I said, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, what'd you... And then Tip, you're one liner, you're like, not the way I... Wait. What? It was just a very
not ideal. I say that.
Yeah, not ideal. Now it's like, wow, this dude doesn't give a what. But yeah, I don't know, man. I wish you had kids. Like, Sasha, what was the youngest age you start? She's like, me? Me? I can't hear you. I can't talk. Shane's baby batter doesn't work. Ravi's making a choice. You got Aiden. Like, what was the first age that you started watching PG-13 with him?
PG-13. Oh, geez. I don't know. He was in high school. Well, no, he would have been in middle school / freshman in high school.
Totally bad, Dad.
Could have been before that. I don't know. I'm bad memory.
Some PG-13 at 7.
Dude, we watched. Oh man, we watched the Bad News Bears with Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay,
and I forgot how funny it was.
Yeah,
because I like the original with Walter Matthau, and I knew I liked.
Oh, you like Billy Bob?
Because I have a weird thing.
No, he's funny. Like he's got like a way of, because you like Landman too, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Like he just has a way of delivering.
And weird until his. Not weird.
You like first season better.
Yeah, first season was great, but then they started doing too much with his nutty ex / real like,
current
wife and his daughter, and I was like, man, can we just get back to the program? Which sucked. And by the way, how many Dutton Ranch Yellowstone 2308s regular? Like,
there's a million of
what
them.
Are we doing?
I don't know.
I do love me some Rip though.
I will say, I think,
although he's put on some weight, Rip was a little puffy.
I think was Cole Hauser, I think his name is, the actor.
He's legit.
Yeah, I think he's been enjoying the fruits of all the.
I think he's a legit bad boy though. He's not one of those. I don't think he's a
fake tough guy.
Yeah, I think he probably gets it in real life.
Yeah,
you know those little guys that make tough, and he ain't tough.
No, he's not a fake tough guy.
No, but she just was laughing her brains out, and I didn't know if she like got the humor, and I was kind of cringe. We literally had just watched Service online. Dream City. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna recalibrate. And no, but it went right into Bad News Bears. And I don't know how. Because I was on YouTube. And
YouTube will autoplay stuff.
Yeah.
Just like normal YouTube.
So that's part of the deal too, because she could figure it out. Because I'm doing laundry, I'm running back and forth because I want Micah's stuff done by the time he gets back. And Caleb's super particular. Anyway, so she's got the remote control. She's standing in front of the TV. I was like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, when the number gets white, you can just hit skip, but don't hit it too soon because it'll give you more commercials." And I was like, "Girl, how do you know that?" She's like, "Daddy, it's the same on my iPad." I'm like, "Don't we have you on like YouTube Kids?" Or I'm contemplating that, but just the funniest thing. I told you how she just invited herself over when we were picking up food with Ian's kids.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know where. I know this is like the third time I've lost her, but at least in Hy-Vee, like it's in enclosed spaces.
It's fine.
She's like pulls up a chair with kids that she doesn't know. And she came over and she goes, "Dad, I was waiting for the food. And she's like, "Dad, can I have some monies?" And I was like, "Well, all I have is a 20.
Yeah.
And I said, "Just get 5 ones." So she literally goes over to the lady and she goes, "Can I have 5 ones?" And I heard the server, she was like, "Is that all you want?" And I was like, "Zoe, get change." That turned into a thing. She disappears. 3 stuffed animals with $5. She gives one of them away to Scarlett.
Yeah.
Riding home, and she's like, "Yeah, I think they made that one easy. It's a kid's trap." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." But so she's going with me to baseball yesterday.
Yeah.
And we play in Carter Lake. It's like 17th and Avenue P. So there's a couple gas stations. One's a little nicer than the other one.
Sure.
So I didn't want to stop at the Casey's because it's before my turn. The Quick Shop is actually closer to 13th. It makes more sense, but it's sandwiched right next to a Dollar General. So she wanted sunflower seeds. I was like, "Cool. All right, I need some too." So she goes in, and there's this guy in there that has a huge jug. Looked like maybe an old Ideal cooler.
Oh, like the water jugs?
It was good size and it had a little mouth. And he's trying to talk to one of the cashiers. First of all, there's a lady getting back her pickle ticket, some ticket money.
Yeah.
On one register. She's like Shane size. So I didn't want to be mean to her. And she's got to be north of 70.
Yeah.
I mean, tedious as all. So I have 17 left here and then 18 over. I was like, good Lord, it's like 1:45 and we're supposed to be there. And I need like 2 days to stretch, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be cool. And then there's this other dude next to me. He's in like low 20s, maybe. All I could catch was he wants ice, but he doesn't want to pay for a drink or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked for a funnel. So I think he was going to try to get the ice
into the jug.
Yeah. Listen, man, I was feeling I don't know, man. I was like, God, I probably at some point better do something nice this weekend. So when the lady gave me my change, I asked the cashier, I said, because you know sometimes the gas station or at those they have like things for your car, like you can get a thing of oil.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, do you guys have anything where he can put that in? I said, plus, and I said this, I said the Dollar General is right next door.
Yeah.
Right. So I gave this guy the $5.
Yeah.
He pulled one of these. I swear to goodness, this dude was like, he's like, yeah, it's not about the money. Is that right?
It seems like it's a little bit about the money.
I said, but I didn't. Listen, I didn't want to say, but you just said, like, I'm not going to explain my case to give away money.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at him and he looked at the lady and I said, is there any way that you guys can solve this? I've got to get going. And as I was getting ready to leave, he's like, hey, thanks anyway, bro. So I'm walking to the car with Zoe, and I swear to goodness, this little girl goes, that wasn't your OCD. You're just weird. And look, I actually looked at her like she was short. She's behind me, and I'm kind of mad. I'm like, what? And she's like, if it's not Hy-Vee, it's Quick Shop. Dude, I almost dropped to my knees. I was laughing so hard. I said, God dang it, Zoe. I said, I love you. So we get to the game, and the one concession closest to the field is closed, but there's one, it's probably about 30 yards.
Okay.
So our manager, our guy that runs the team, Jono, he's like, hey, I only have such and such and such and such. Our pitcher's really good. He wanted some water. I was like, oh, I'll grab a couple Gatorades. I need something to put in my Yeti. And I said, hey, Zoe, I said, here's Daddy's keys. You have to unlock it. You have to go in the console. She's like, wait, what's the console? And I go, oh, that's the thing. Oh, yeah, you put your arm on that. And I said, yeah. I said, but there's two. She said, Dad, I know. You put your wallet in the top, and then there's the baby gum cigar in the other one, because there's a It's a Boy cigar in there too. Yeah. And I'm like, nosy little thing. So I'm kind of nervous. She runs, and I said, here, just take the 20. I said, there's a 20 and there's 3 ones. Just take the 20. She's like, a 20 keys, unlock the car. So she's mapping it out.
Yeah.
And short story long, she comes back. She gets the order. She said, when I come back, can I stay in the dugout? I said, okay, sure. I asked the guys, because some are super. Remember, this is the team that told me I need to wear baseball pants, right? So
they're pretty dialed.
I'm like, I better follow protocol. You can't be having kids running around here. So she comes back with like a grocery bag. She's got 3 Gatorades and 1 water. She gives me the change. I said, put it in my baseball bag. And she hands it out and she goes, hey, what color do you? She's talking to these people like, these are old guys too. It's like, she's dallying them up. So I don't think anything of it. Come back. It's the end of the game. It was super hot. We tried to play fast so we could beat the weather, but the weather, it was slow because we thought it was going to get worse sooner.
Yeah. They were saying like 5.
Yeah. So somehow she made like $7.
Wait,
she had a
$5 reselling the Gatorade.
She had a $5 and a $2 bill in her pocket, and she's like, "Dad, can you hold my monies?" And I was like, "Where'd you get this?" And she said, "Well, they told me not to tell you, but they said thank you for being a big girl." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And she goes, deadpan straight face. She goes, "I'm not giving it away so somebody can get ice."
What a callback.
I said, let's go.
I would be honest. I think she's ready to handle PG-13 movies.
They're teaching her how to do a scorebook. I look over.
Not giving it away for somebody to get ice.
She's literally got her little fast ass sitting on the bench getting like tutorials on how to keep score.
Yeah. That's good to have, though, because nobody wants to do that.
Right.
Like when you're on the team, nobody wants to do that when you're actually playing.
And I don't mind. Like, I like to keep in baseball pants. Our good guy was like, "We need to learn how to keep book." I was like, "Dang, you're TCU through and through, man." Like, but he is so cool. And he ended up being like the coolest one to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was having a little guilt over the Bad News Bears, but I forgot how funny that movie was.
So, I mean, not all PG-13s are created equal, right?
He did say a-hole.
Yeah.
And he like poured out the non-alcoholic beer and and I was like, "Dang, I hope she don't put 2 and 2 together. Have I done anything like that? I don't know." So all these things start going through your mind. Shane, have you seen it? So the mom, Liz, that has the kid that has all the classes and art, and she's very, she goes, they should have named, she should have been Karen.
That was a little before the Karen thing became like a thing, but that's funny.
So why it was fresh on the brain is right before we left, we have an older neighbor. And this is the family that like rejected the cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Like cookies were made, delivered around the neighborhood, and she's like, "Yeah, no thanks. My husband is gluten-free." I was like, "Just take the damn cookies. Like, you don't throw them away if you want. Don't say no." You know what I mean? So, of course, she's putting her trash cans out at like 2:30. No, because we were so like 5:15, trying to beat the storm. And I wanted to wave. I was like, she's not really making eye contact, so I'm kind of half-hearted because I was like, if I wave and she don't wave back, I may lose it. Yeah, right. But I wanted to tell her, I said, "Hey, it's going to get pretty windy. You may want to wait."
Yeah.
What I wake up to this morning?
Those trash cans all over the place.
All over the goddamn place.
Yeah, all over the place.
And I wanted to be so petty and take the old Charmin Kleenex box, the Good Life milk carton, and it's not Ken Palm, the Ken O buttermilk deal, and I wanted to just throw it all back in her yard. Nah. Put it in my own trash can and wheeled my own out. But I was great. So I was like, that's why I got out of the car. And I said, I think I called Shane a name. And Sasha was just getting out of her truck. And I was like, "Oh, whoops." Like, I didn't want that to be the first thing you heard when you got out of your truck. What, Sasha, I think I just said ass face. Is that it? Yeah.
That's one of your go-tos.
They're all worse.
It's one of your go-tos.
Well, he was like baby talking. I was like, "Good morning, ass face." And
well, you're like a half a block away.
I know. So that means you're gonna have to speak up. You did the same thing to me, Shane. I get out of my car and you're like,
half a block. I'm in the parking lot.
You're like whispering to me about some tree. I'm like, Shane, I can't hear a word you're saying.
I said, "Hey, you warm? You good?" Like, I was legit trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I was just giving you a heads up. There's a branch that's probably going to come down. I wouldn't drive under that tree anytime soon.
I appreciate that. I appreciate looking out. But like, if I'm all the way across the parking lot, I'm going to need you to like project the voice a little bit. Like, pretend like you're yelling clear, you know?
No. Clear.
I'm like, you know, I mean, it's you know, because he starts wandering off now because we made fun of him for the Hulaberry clouds by the door. So now he's like all the way off on the side now, and I'm walking in, and he's like, hey, I wouldn't drive past that tree anytime soon.
Yeah, and he's kind of a low-key smart butt too.
And I'm like, wait, what? I can't hear a word you're saying, Shane.
I'm like, hey, you ready for your abs? Yeah, I can't wait for I think he said Wednesday. And I was like, is he telling me like I didn't know? I don't think they play tonight. I'm just asking you if you're ready for the week. You know what I mean?
He's got to let you know.
So I was like, forget it. I need to kill some time and get my mind right. So I took the stairs with Sasha.
I had a kind of a mixed bag.
Peer pressure, right, Sasha? Because if she would have taken the elevator, I sure would have got my black behind on the elevator too. But she took the stairs, and I was like, damn, man, I can't. She's got 19.
Yeah,
backpacks.
she's carrying a bunch of stuff.
And I was like,
bunch of stuff.
So that's why I pinned the. So Sasha, this is weird. You know, I'm competitive about everything. So I only had the two. I had my backpack, my Yeti, and the drink was falling through my arm. It wasn't open yet, and it was gonna fall, but I didn't want to have to set my stuff down because she's like lumberjack Tim with like all those bags, and she don't give a what. And I'm like, I am not about to stop and put this one backpack down because I can't hold a goddamn can. So Shane, it's pinned between my elbow and my backpack, and I'm holding the deal, and it was gonna fall when I got in here, and I'm trying to catch it out of with this hand, and Ravi goes, what the hell are you doing?
I was so confused.
And I'm like, this thing was gonna fall the whole way up the stairs, but I wasn't gonna give in because she was walking.
I would have just looked at you.
It looked like you were I thought you were having like a weird back muscle cramp or something. You were like trying to grab it. I was like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, like my ding dong daughter. I had to get out of the way of a fastball.
Yeah.
And then the very next pitch hit me dead square right on the kneecap.
Oh,
so I had to get a courtesy runner, but I still played.
That hurts though. Like that's bad.
Yeah. Our catcher wears a hearing aid.
Yeah.
I played with him in high school, and I was like, Chris, I said, man, did you hear that? And he was like, no. That's how he answered me. I want to choke him, but I understood why, because I can see the hearing aid.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he could have heard that from in the dugout. He's like, no. And so I'm kind of mad.
Yeah.
You know, the pitcher's like, hey, my bad. Because he came inside a ton.
Yeah.
And the catcher was kind of messing with me. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, he heard about, whatever. He's like, yeah, just brushing you off, brushing you back. And then he hit me. And I was like,
really? Is that what we're doing?
So I kind of gave him the side eye, but the pitcher was cool. He was totally cool.
Yeah.
And so I come back to the dugout in between innings, and so I was like, God, that was weird. You look like Michael Jackson, but not as good a dancer. I was like, God, I can't stand this girl. She like did the reenactment. She's like, eh. And all I could think was, John, I was like, hey, you need one? You can sit out of the thing. I was like, I am not about to be hurt in front of my daughter.
After she already made fun of you.
Yeah. She said Michael Jackson.
Not as good a dancer.
Nah, man. The little girl, you can borrow her any flipping time.
Natasha would hang out with her.
Dude, nobody believed me that she was 7.
Yeah. She's very I think since her brothers are so much older, I think you grow up pretty fast.
Yeah.
When I was young, I grew up pretty fast because I'm the youngest of 4.
I told Ian, he's like, hey man, you've been having some good shows lately, man. Rock on. He's cool. He's just a really good dude.
Yeah,
and when I left, I said, this is why I tell those stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this little girl bellied up to the bar like she was, or to his table.
Yeah.
And there's 5 kids and 4 adults, and she pulled up a chair. a chair, talk about bad dad. I'm like, man, stranger danger. Comes back just telling all the names. She's like, Dad, there's a Scarlet.
She's probably like, they got kids. They're all right.
I was like, Scarlet.
Yep.
That's a cool name.
Scarlet can ball a little bit too.
Yeah, so that's short story long. That's who you did the basketball game for?
Yeah, that's the 4th grade basketball game that I called with Bishop and Stibbs.
Yeah.
Over at I think it's Holy Cross is the school.
Was it off of 50th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And so Ian is super cool dude, set up all the he just had this harebrained. He's like, hey, wouldn't it be super fun if we just took this super seriously and did a broadcast?
He's a really good natured dude.
Oh yeah, like I'm a huge fan.
He was like, "Hey, you can sit with us," and I was like, "Eh." You guys are having way too much fun. I'm in a zone.
You're like,
I don't want to have a good time.
You're like, I'm determined to not be happy.
He was like, "Hey, these zings are all the rage," and I said, "Nah, I think I'm gonna get a kettle one on the rocks and bounce."
No, Ian is a super good dude.
Dude, that place has fire.
So I don't think I've ever eaten there.
Listen, it travels well too.
Does it?
Oh,
I've because that's pretty far for you guys.
I had to go to graduation.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, and I wasn't in a hurry to go back home. So I was like, shoot,
yeah,
let's try it. I full tank of gas. So then I filled my car for $62. I was mortified. 62.06.
That sounds a little pricey.
Dude, I'm not even gonna tell you what Natasha's was this weekend.
She has a big rig.
Yeah, and
so I hold 16 gallons.
So hers
16.1.
So hers is north of 20.
Ugh.
I think it's like 23 gallons, and it requires a higher octane.
No, you need a new vehicle.
Fuel. I know.
You're doing too much,
dude. I was like, you're kidding me right now. So it was like 450.
Huh?
Yeah, because it was the expensive stuff. There's like certain vehicles that you have to do the 91 octane on.
He's saying price per gallon.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, not total. Sorry. It was like it. No.
Hey.
No, price per gallon. Thank you, Shane. That was good. It was like 450 and change a gallon.
Teddy drove back through the night.
Yeah.
From Notre Dame. Spent $260 on gas.
You can fly for that, man. That's crazy.
$260.
That's crazy.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. But yeah, I actually have been looking for a new vehicle for her because I was like, this high octane stuff is nonsense. I'm not doing this anymore.
Go see Kobe. By the time you drive out there, spend a little gas, but he'll hook you up.
I was like, he's gonna have.
I would tell you to get my Subaru, but I'm getting killed for that.
Yeah, but what they think bothers you more than it bothers me.
Yeah, I got hit with one at the grocery store.
Did you?
Yeah. Are you in the Subaru? I'm like, Keith, stop talking to me. But I always have to have him come over because I go to self-checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And inevitably, I'm going to start memorizing like the stickers so I can stop asking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the search by name versus the search by number, you should be able to search by name first. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Or you don't grocery shop, so how would you know?
I sometimes go with Natasha. Sometimes.
Sasha, do you buy things that aren't prepackaged that you have to like bag and
like
and
produce,
ring up?
Right?
Yeah, or fruit mostly.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to be able to search by SKU number, SKU number, or name?
I just look it up by the name. I'm not looking at that little sticker.
But you have to like double. The first option shouldn't be the number. But I get it though for people that like can actually see because there are stickers on there.
You can't just like scan it?
It depends on what it is.
Oh, okay.
So if it's like cherries or grapes, like sometimes it doesn't have the barcode.
Yeah, and then you have to like manually enter the number.
Yeah. Or
that sounds terrible.
Avocados.
Oh.
Is it Haas or is it whatever the other? I
don't know what it is.
I know. It's
I could not name a single avocado brand.
I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go back home and watch Minnesota, Nebraska play softball.
Yeah.
That Minnesota staff was supposed to be good too.
Yeah, they weren't. I mean, they were pretty good on Friday.
Yeah.
For 8.5
Nebraska,
innings.
they just don't give a what. They don't care what inning it is, what it looks like.
So I was mad at myself on Friday because it's what 6-1 top of the ninth, right? And there's basketball going on. So I flip over. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna lock in on basketball.
I was getting my pace game right on the deck. I was like, fudge, I jinxed this thing with the bad things that happened in Minnesota. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm like darn near a tantrum.
Yeah.
Right. And I come back in and it's like 6-3, 6-4. And I was like, I might have to turn on the outside TV for this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to turn the TV off of basketball because it was on the Cock or Amazon?
I think it was on Amazon. So that's why I switched, because normally I would just like kind of go, I would have dual screened it, right? but because like all the games this weekend were on Amazon for some reason.
Although I did have one super legit quad box. I think it was Sabres, Canadiens, PGA, softball. Was it Tennessee? And I had another good one in the right-hand corner, and I was like, okay, quad box.
But so I switched it over, and then I'm watching the basketball game, and then I'm kind of scrolling on social media during one of the breaks, and I see Ben McLaughlin tweet out something because somebody had replied to his interview with us on Friday about
being snarky.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to get. Oh, you'd have been so proud of me.
And Ben just replies, because they had been snarky before they came back.
He goes, I guess they were prepared, LOL.
Or, focus or something. It was, focus or
listen,
lock.
when adults, you know how that gets under my skin.
Oh, yeah.
I just think you reach a point where you're too old to be LMAFO. And it's usually a reflection of your, like, no disrespect, Kobe, because I know you're not afraid to LMFAO, but
he's still in his 20s.
And he's
still in his 20s.
Right now, if you're doing, and this, I think this dude was fairly grown.
Didn't look young.
But I know Ben so well. I know exactly what he was thinking. He would have been like, he enjoys cussing.
Yeah.
But and he's not afraid to drop one on social media.
Oh, yeah.
He don't give a what. But I was like, I could hear him saying that.
That was really funny.
I wanted to clap back because that's what people do.
Yeah.
Right? They don't say anything before, not during. It's just like they just wait to pounce.
That's probably
social media blows.
That's probably the one thing about this job that annoys me the most is the people that just have no opinions beforehand, never put anything out there.
No.
And then afterwards play the gotcha.
An elite acronym.
Like they just wait for something and they're like, oh, gotcha. You're an idiot. You didn't know. It's like, well, you didn't say anything beforehand either. It's like, what are we doing here? And so, when Ben was just like, I was tickled. Yeah. But that's when I realized that Nebraska came back. I was like, what is he talking about?
And I was like,
and then I had to go back and get it.
Silent fist pumping. Because I enjoy the food scene. I don't ever have a good time there.
Oh, yeah.
It's something crazy always happens in flipping Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they going to blow this? Because they could, for as good as UCLA is, for whatever the reason, like they don't scare me.
Yeah.
I watch some of these other, first of all, I don't know I like Georgia Tech. And I do like Carolina. Carolina, I don't know if they can hit well enough, but they sure can pitch it.
Oh, wow.
Georgia Tech flipping rakes.
So Nebraska all the way up to 9.
No, I know.
So that was a huge series.
I know.
I didn't think they'd get in the top 10. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's really, that's, you would think.
Just get your bundas to semis minimum.
Yeah. You got to win a couple. You don't have to
win a couple.
But
just don't go 2 in bad queue.
Yeah.
Which is fairly easy to find.
Win a couple. And they'll be in good shape. I did not think they would jump all the way to 9 in the RPI.
Nice position.
That's a big weekend for them.
And if you look at the rest of college baseball, like teams helped out.
Yeah.
Teams helped out.
Well, even UCLA dropped one last week.
Yeah.
Just
UCLA
weird.
might be bored.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
They might be bored.
There's not
and they're kind of been there, done that. Not recently, but as a program, and it's like, yeah, we've been really good for all year, but it's like, I don't know. I'm basically ready to go for softball. I get to see Malin, I get to see Ruby, and I get to see Nebraska. So let's go. Okie State was more impressive with Stanford than I thought. Stanford could be a thorn.
Yeah,
I did. But they handle business.
Did I read that right? First time ever hosting a Super?
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
And 8 o'clock on the Deuce. So it'll be a late one under the lights.
It's all right. I'm sure it'll come out for it.
Yeah, Tag, I agree. They're kicking themselves over the Ohio State series, but they were due for one of those. They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
No, and it's like you're gonna have obviously would prefer not to get swept. But you're going to have one of those where you just can't get the bats going or whatever over the course of a series. I would have preferred that it happened like a month ago instead of when it did in the season. But honestly, if they can, it's not reasonable to expect that they wouldn't have had one of those this year.
Yeah, Georgia, Tennessee is going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, Florida.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a 6-11. And then who else? It's Arkansas and Puke. And then Mississippi State softball goes against OU.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They like their bat ball sports in Starkville there.
That facility. I just want to go to the Noble. Watch baseball.
Somebody when we were down at CWS, I don't know, it was a while ago. I think it was with the old place when Mississippi State was. I think it was when they won the title, so like 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Some Mississippi State fans were like, "Oh, you guys should come on down to Starkville sometime." And I was like, I don't think that's going to happen,
dude. If it's anything like the Lot Lizard and my guy from Mississippi State, who always, I told you about the stuffed bacon wrapped duck breast he made. I felt bad too because he kind of had a tip jar, but didn't really ask for money.
Yeah,
I don't feel like people weren't kicking in like Big Ben like they should have. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is expensive.
Sure, yeah, no, it probably is.
No, and he was a good enough cook. I would have treated him like, I mean, you're like eating at a restaurant. It was better than tailgate food.
So, did he invite you, or did you invite yourself?
No, he invited me. No, he'd been coming forever, and Kellyanne was like the liaison.
Oh,
because she does her own thing.
Yeah,
too.
with the LSU crew.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you got to come see." I had the T-shirt. He gave me a T-shirt. I had the koozie. But I'm like, look, man. They were in lot 7 though, so I had to pass them to get to my car.
Yeah.
So that was always my excuse.
It's like, I got to walk by him anyway.
I may or may not have had to sit there for a good hour before I left. I was like, how'd this happen?
I'm just saying, I would feel a little strange about tipping somebody at a tailgate. That just seems weird to me.
Wouldn't you say hey man, can I give you anything? They're gonna say no. Probably. Yeah. But you just do it, right?
That's why I asked if he invited you or if you just stopped by.
No, it was a great film. I don't know why they to be honest. But I was kind of on display because I have to walk through the lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got smart over the years and I would park. I'd sacrifice the walk to not have to go through.
Yeah.
So I would be in a random spot.
Just walk through the lot, man. It's cool.
No. No.
What's the problem?
I don't know. Same soup, just reheated. Just reheated.
Well, if you want to see Nebraska play this weekend, make sure you get out to the Big Ten Championship. We'll take a break here in just a second, but you can go down to...
Sasha said, wow, I could read her lips. Wow. Unsolicited, taking a break.
Well,
you didn't have to send a hate group text.
Yeah, I just didn't have to yell at us.
It'd be a good time to take a break.
But the chase for the conference tournament title returns to Charles Schwab Field, Omaha, May 19th through the 24th. That's tomorrow. That's starting tomorrow. Nebraska doesn't play.
What is this?
That's tomorrow.
That's...
Nebraska doesn't play till Friday, but plenty of great baseball to be seen between now and then. Don't miss the best teams in the Big Ten battle it out in Nebraska. Visit big10.org now for ticket information. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Hyundai. Lease the 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE all-wheel drive, starting at $339 a month. Big savings to start May right. 2 great Hyundais, 1 big May event. Let's go. We've also got the 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE. Sign and drive for $0 down, starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Hyundai.
Well, we got our wish. It was really the players that set the tone with that last year. So it's a player-led team, and just really proud that they're getting to be able to experience that and what they did today. You know, I just want to start out by saying Grand Canyon is a really good softball team, and they fought their tails off. I grabbed a couple of seniors at the end. They had tears in their eyes because, you know, you don't win 50-plus games and not do a lot of things right. And so I thought they were really a formidable opponent, and the fact that we had to throw shutouts both days. And I'll start with today. I thought Lex and Jordy together were unbelievable. Lex came out, just competed her tail off. You know, she did that in the Big Ten tournament too. The moment didn't get too big for her. That inning where they had runners at first and second with nobody out, and they rolled over the lineup. I mean, that's a tough start of their lineup because of how they could put the ball in play in so many different ways and the speed that they have. The fact that she got us out of that without any damage was really, I say this, it was a big girl moment.
So close. It's such a great feeling, you know, to be in a position to be second, tied for second. The Big Ten is a very competitive conference, and you're competing against some of the best athletes, not only in the NCAA, but within the world, really. So to be in the ballpark and being able to compete head-to-head with all of these teams and these programs, it's a great challenge, but it's one that we take on full steam ahead.
Coach, you talk about the Big Ten being one of the better conferences. On the women's side, probably not the result that you were looking for. A lot of points maybe left out there. Can you talk about the emotions going through your head and maybe the players as well, or the athletes as well, as some of these results have started happening?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part. And we often talk about this in our team meetings that, hey, there's going to be punches thrown. You're gonna throw a punch. You're going to take a punch, and it's how you respond to those punches. And you just got to forget about, you know, if it didn't go how you wanted it, you just got to move on and move forward to the next thing and stay optimistic about what's coming next.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
That's awful close, Shane. Hey, we're back. Hot mic. Hey, there's our picture. We're on the frippin' screen. Shane, if you weren't built like a goddamn piece of fine china, sometimes I want to karate chop you right in the side of the neck, but like with an actual
but you would
fist.
break me.
I know.
That's why he hasn't done it yet.
Well, I told you about the time. This was probably what, 15, 16, Shane? 14?
Did you just call Shane fine?
I'm like fine China.
No.
Fine is in fragile, Rico.
Wait, where'd you come from? I thought he was off today.
My kitchen table.
I never know what Rico's doing.
Rico, you got to stop doing that, man. You're like the butler on Mr. Deeds, but with your voice. I'm like, is that a drop? Good morning, Rico. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very tired.
You sound like poop. You good?
Very busy weekend and then a lot of stuff last night.
Hey, so the tie for second, I'm sure you're good with. What about the fourth place finish for the guys? We all right?
For the girls?
Tied for second and fourth place. I've got to be talking about what sport, Suave?
Yeah, the men finished tied for second. The women finished fourth. Yeah, they left a ton of points out there. It was very sad to see. Like, there was a lot of athletes that should have gotten points that ended up not making finals, or a lot of athletes that should have gotten points that ended up getting less than they should have. It was honestly, it was a pretty disappointing performance for the women's side. They had a chance to compete with Oregon for the title, and they just didn't show up on a couple events.
While I've got you, can I ask you one more sports related question before I get back to Shane?
What's up?
You realize you did draw the most dangerous team in the East, right?
No, we are the most dangerous team in the East.
The Cavs are very capable.
Sometimes the Cavs do a lot of stupid things. Pretty careless with the basketball. When they're dialed, they're pretty complete.
Yeah. I thought they were, going into the year, I thought they were the best team in the East.
Like,
and when the Knicks are dialed, they're also very dangerous.
So they've been
dialed for 2 straight series?
I know you were playing Rico. Am I cheering for you? I'm cheering for you. I don't really rock with the tricks, but are you worried about your defensive lapses, or are you just going to outscore them?
Probably outscore them. I'm just worried about who's going to be on Harden and if they can stay out of foul trouble, because OG's more than likely going to draw the Donovan Mitchell assignment, and it'll probably be Josh Hart on Harden. So at that point, he just needs to stay out of foul trouble. We're not going to ask him to score a ton, so just guard him and do what you can, and then we'll see what Mikal Bridges can offer as well. He'll probably help out on Donovan Mitchell. And if they want to play 2 bigs, if the Cavs want to play 2 bigs, the Knicks will match with their 2 bigs. And I like Cat bringing Jared Allen or Evan Mobley out on the perimeter.
Jared Allen plays so goddamn hard. It's going to be fascinating. You guys are a healthy favorite.
Where are you guys hiding Jalen Brunson, though, on defense?
Dude, the Cavs are 7-point dogs. Maybe it's the quick turnaround and the travel.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Detroit to New York isn't. You're on a PJ, so it's not like you got. Do you have? Maybe they're tired.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because of the layoff, I don't like when their teams are this far off in terms of their rest schedules. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland goes and wins game 1, but ends up losing the series. Like,
dude, it's 7 though. That's a healthy line.
And
the total is only 216.
This has Cleveland upset first.
I don't know, man.
First game, written all over it for me.
I don't know. It's big for a reason.
Listen, I think this is one of those where everybody's like, "Oh, they're just coming off of game 7, stressful." The Knicks
it's good
are well
to see
rested.
Evan Mobley finally woke up. He ain't tired.
When's the last? Mobley had like 4 really good games in that series.
He just started balling.
Jared Allen was really good in that series. My question is, when's the last time the Knicks played a basketball game?
You're on 8 days, Rico.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. That is the rest versus rust argument is real in this one. It is a little scary because they were on a roll, and you want them to just keep playing ball.
The Knicks are losing game 1. I would put a bet on that.
Huh.
Personally, I'm not advising other people to, but I would personally put a bet on that.
The Cavs. You got to remember the Cavs were also facing a Detroit team that can't shoot to save their damn lives.
Yeah, I when you act like that in a closeout game at home, You were never in that game.
No, they got smoked.
Like that was tough.
That was rough.
And they have one of the best opens in sports.
And I'm not even saying I don't think the Knicks are going to
Detroit basketball.
I'm not even saying I don't think the Knicks are going to win the series, but I do think Cleveland's winning game 1. Like I've seen this way too many times.
Rico, do you say Detroit or do you say Detroit?
It's Detroit. You have to.
Okay. He's cultured.
I was going to say.
Shane's going to be like, I'd say Detroit. Shane, when's the last time the Avs played? Last year?
It's been a minute, but I mean, not as long as a break as what Carolina had, before. So
hockey may have to do something about that, but
yeah, definitely.
You can't help that the Sabres actually, and there's my dark horse, acting like they've got a pulse.
Mm-hmm.
They're on fire right now.
Well,
it's trending towards them.
So Thompson finally woke up, and all of a sudden, Montreal is wetting the goddamn bed. Tinkle sheets.
Those Canadians or the Canadiens.
It's a great city, though.
Hey, by the way, real quick, going back to basketball.
Yes.
Is the 62 win? Is that a big deal?
So we had, was it Sean Devaney?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I didn't say the worst. I said the most slept on 62 win team maybe ever, or the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. I just don't think we thought they were.
They were the 1 seed.
I just don't think we thought they were. Again, I felt this way the whole season. It felt like a Tibbs regular, like it felt like one of those D Rose Tibbs teams where it's like, hey, we're going to play harder than everybody else in the regular season. But when it actually comes down to like scouting reports and being able to figure out a team over the course of a series, I didn't think they were built for that in the playoffs this year. But if you're young and play harder than everybody else, like, and a certain level of talent, like, you can get to a pretty like high seed in your conference just by doing that. Like, and I know people are gonna be like, well, it's because nobody plays in the NBA hard. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like
nobody plays in the NBA hard.
I switched a couple of those words around. I hope nobody plays in the NBA hard. But
hey, I know you don't like hockey. Watch.
What do you mean?
Watch Game 7 tonight.
It's not in
Buffalo.
It's not that I don't like hockey. I've been watching. I just can't speak on it at a high level.
You will be you're gonna be like, dang, this is riveting.
I know. I like the drama.
Kind of like seeing if John Rahm can pull out a win and not a soul over here picked him.
We knew that was not going to happen. You know why? Because he was going up against an Indian man. Wasn't going to win.
And it wasn't Akshay.
I know. It wasn't my guy Bhatia. It's Bhatia.
Bhatia.
Yeah, Bhatia. It was Aaron Rye.
So how did Rye do you know the backstory of how he's representing that country?
England?
On a move?
No, so his I believe
this is good.
Parents, it was either parents or grandparents immigrated over to England, and so he was born there. But I can't remember which generation moved over to England.
Well played.
I got you.
I tried to. There's no way with those arms you could have hit a curveball. I did try to set you up. I don't like doing that to people.
Yeah,
but I had faith.
No, listen. I had to make
different than George Michael, but I had faith.
So when I see him, I'm like,
not that there's anything wrong with RIP.
I was like, that looks like one of me. And so I was like, I got to.
Oh, let me take a deep dive.
Well, yeah, for real. That's basically what happened. But I also had to, because there's a few areas in that region that could look the same or look similar and not, like Pakistani people and Indian people look a lot alike. So you got to, because they were one country at once. We forget that sometimes. But so you got to differentiate. Yeah. And so I was looking him up to make sure he was one of ours.
What's the Aladdin thing again?
What do you mean?
Region? I know it's not you guys.
Like the Middle East?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, is it Egypt?
I don't think they name a specific country in Aladdin. I always think it's like kind of like the Saudi Arabia region is kind of the vibe that I got. Just with the castles and stuff, I assume there was like a sovereign fund there involved. I assume there was some oil money in Aladdin.
I think it's just the architecture.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they're like, hey, this castle thing. Okay.
But no, yeah, did a little deep dive on our guy Aaron Rye.
Shane, are you watching Game 7?
I'll be listening to it.
You're a heavy fave over the Golden Knights. That's Wednesday. Hey, dude, I haven't played forever.
Yeah, I don't love that. Like, I don't.
It's hard.
It is hard.
Carolina's just chilling.
Well, it didn't start out good with Carolina winning 4 and then being off, and then that totally threw everything off.
And then the Abs handled their business.
And then they did it again. So it threw the schedule off again.
And I don't know hockey well enough to know the rest versus rust thing the way I do in basketball.
This is definitely rust.
Yeah. Like it seems like it is interconnected enough that you want to play more frequently than
Although Makar will be good to go, Shane.
That's a plus.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
Well, do you heal or do you rust? That's the question.
That was my point though. Like, I think the Knicks may end up winning that series, but I think they're dropping game 1. Like, I don't take anything from it past game 1, but I do think game 1 can get you on that situation.
Hey, Austin, Austin, are you with us? I'm going to send him a video.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what did you call? So I didn't even know the name of that dance that you were doing when you're in Sarasota. Is that called the scuba?
Oh, yeah. You want to learn how to scuba? We can do it on air right now.
No, I'm going to send you a video. And I want to see how quick you can get this thing pulled up, because this is the kind of stuff that my daughter does, and it's absolutely terrifying. Okay?
All right.
And I think this is what she's actually doing. But I was at a restaurant, you guys, and I was with a coach, and the night was getting away from us, and I think we both forgot where our kids were. They're in this video that you're getting ready to pull up they're in the hallway of a restaurant. I'm going to send you 2 though. Okay, Austin?
I'm on it.
That's not a good one. I'm going to send you the second one.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to give the results of our PGA Championship pick'em.
Yeah, I wonder why you're so happy to give the results.
Oh, I want to make sure I update the people. We did the draft. I just feel like they need to know what happens.
Yeah, good on you.
Shane lost by a lot. He was the only guy not to crack $1 million in total.
Sounds like we need to play break music.
He had Scheffler, Koepka, DeChambeau, and McNeely, and came up with just north of $628,000. DB was second with Cam Young, Oberg, Fleetwood, and Spieth. He was just shy of $1.2 million. And your winner, that'd be me, McIlroy, Schauffele, Fitzpatrick, Neiman at $1.867 million.
That was a heck of a pick, because there were only 2 guys of our 12 that didn't make the cut.
Yep.
And Shane had 1, and I had the other.
Yeah, it was DeChambeau and
Fleetwood was back making music with Stevie Nicks. And DeChambeau was chunking things left and what was DeChambeau doing?
He's probably worried about his YouTube channel.
You think that's what it was?
If I had to guess, he's like, well, I don't know about the PGA anymore, but that YouTube
he wants to go back to hitting balls over his house.
He's like, that YouTube money's pretty sweet. I know that.
Hey, I'm sending this to you now, AJ. This is the one I want you to send over. Okay, we'll play this one.
All right, sounds good.
That is so. DB, you won the first one, right? You won Masters.
I did. We still have yet to have a back-to-back winner.
Back-to-back. Yeah. So I won this one. Next one up will be the U.S. Open.
I'm winning that.
It's U.S. is before British, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because British isn't until it's July, like the third.
Yeah,
week,
that's
maybe.
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
The Open.
Yeah, I'm still gonna call it the British. It's like
you're so hard-headed.
No, well, they did this with the French Open in tennis. They're like, now it's called Roland Garros, and I was like, it's always been at Roland Garros. It's the French Open. I don't know what you want me to do here. It feels so awkward to just be like, oh, they're playing Roland Garros.
Hey, by the way, is it Ronda Revelle Field at Bowling Stadium, or is it Bowling Stadium at Ronda Revelle Field?
I think it's Ronda Revelle Field at Bowling Stadium, because it'd be weird for the stadium to be at the field. But the field is at the stadium.
We would say Memorial Stadium on Tom Osborne Field, don't we?
Well, I don't. It sounds backwards. I think you go field and then stadium. You go small to big, I think.
That should have been my shower moment. I didn't have any.
You didn't think about it?
I was just trying to get the trash out. Worry about early pickup if the weather goes bad.
I believe our scuba is ready.
Oh, you want to rock with it already?
You got to take a break.
We can scuba, then take a break.
All right. So you guys, this is my daughter and Coach Rule's daughter at a restaurant. This is the 7-year-old. Mine isn't playing. Is yours playing?
Yeah, it's playing.
Watch Zoe.
That is apparently the scuba.
Front, back, right, left,
We better not have audio. Again, this is my parenting skills here. Look at this.
Pretty good dancer. I mean,
she's incredible.
Good for her.
Yeah,
that's why she was critiquing you on the Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah, she's like, I was like, oh, that's funny.
All right, let's take a real quick break. We'll be right back with Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for stars, stripes, and savings at Edwards Chevrolet. Save $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST, a truck deal worth celebrating. 2 Chevys, 2 ways to save. This May only. We've also got the 2026 Chevrolet Trax 1RS starting at $299 a month. Don't wait. Get in on stars, stripes, and savings this May at Edwards Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
2 days ago, I'm laying on the floor with my back seizing, and I sat there and cried with my parents and told them I didn't think I was going to be able to come out here and do what I did today. I didn't think I was going to be able to even take a jump on that runway. And as soon as I got out there, I knew that God had me, and I knew that I had to put the team on my back and go at all costs. And that's exactly what I did. I left it all out there, and I'm really, really happy that I did.
But why were you so deflated before the competition?
I was just battling the emotions and the physical just draining of feeling pain is such a hard thing to push through, especially in pole vault. You need your back, you need your glutes, you need your legs to feel good, everything to be able to jump high. Every little bit of feeling good helps you jump that much higher. So, it's nerve-wracking, but I knew that I had to just go out there and do the best I could, and that's exactly what I did. Oh, man, it's unlike anything I've ever been around before. You know, having that home crowd, that clap was so loud, and it got me fired up and got me exactly where I needed to be to clear bar. Without them here today, I'm confident in saying that I don't think I would have won. But having it here and having all the support made it easy to push through all the adversities that I had. And having my family here to watch, it just meant so much to me to be able to double and to be able to jump against such good competitors and put up a good bar after all the struggles. It's surreal. It's surreal.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Here is the sports editor for the Omaha World Herald, Sam McKewon.
That's fine.
Sam McKewon.
We're gonna throw the ball, and you just stand back there and throw it where you want to go. That kind of thing.
Sam McKewon.
Are you guys going? Sure.
Now, Sam McKewon.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, I don't ever really know how those weird weather patterns in Lincoln. It's relatively good so far, or just kind of wait and see still.
Oh, we got smacked pretty good, but we didn't get to any tornadoes. So yeah, we got hit pretty good. A lot of rain, odd looking clouds. It was beautiful, actually, in its own way. It's pretty
beautiful. I like, and I don't know if I embrace inclement weather. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh gosh, bat down the hatches. But I don't know if I'd go as far as to say beautiful.
Yeah, it was. The sun comes under the clouds.
I did turn my sprinkler system off.
We saw a double rainbow. That was pretty cool. So.
Oh shoot! What's the good karma? Do I need to come down and get a love touch? Like something's gonna happen.
You should. I guess that'll go toward the Nebraska baseball and softball teams. They'll get the karma.
Hey, pretty impressed. I know state baseball today gets the rolling start. They said the goal is to get in as many games as possible, but got out in front and moved state soccer.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a guy that saw West Side South game split and then watch it make 6-7 kicks in a row. Like, this is a crazy time for the state tournament. You're going to back it right up against state track.
It is, yeah. So they're going to overlap by a day. I wonder if there's a way to create a little, whether they were able to take state soccer to 2 sites. And it'd probably make it harder for us to. Right? What's that?
Good on Omaha for being available to campus.
Right. Well, I would wonder if, since their school is out, their finals week is, I think, right before the state soccer tournament starts. Whether UNO could host B, something like that. They have a great facility too. So obviously Morrison is one of the nation's best. If there's a state soccer tournament being played in a better facility than Morrison Stadium, I'd like to see it. I'm sure it's possible,
right?
But I don't know that there is one. But UNO is really good too, and you could have all the finals in Morrison. I wonder if there's a way to get that done where you could compress. You could end the state soccer tournament on like a Friday, and have it wrap in a week as opposed to coming around to those 2 extra days. But again, nothing's really nothing's quite like Morrison. So when Omaha South plays, that'll be a packed house, and that's great. So Nebraska's really lucky to have the state tournament venues it does, because there's really not a bad one in the bunch. There just isn't. It's cool everywhere you go, and the stands are packed, and people are excited. The state track meet will be great, as it always is. I did hear Troy Dannon stump for the Nebraska outdoor track
to
host the state track meet, and it's a beautiful facility. I don't know that it holds enough. I don't know that it holds like 12,000 people, and that's kind of what you need if you're going to do the state track meet.
So I hear 8,500, 8 to 9. And even with the staggered days, I think you're right. It would be pretty snug.
It would. The flip side of the coin, if I was going to flip the coin, is that like there's a lot of parking over there, and at Burke, you got school. Well, you got school. I mean, you have school the first and 2 days.
Because it's the end of the year and early outs, but it's tough.
Oh, yeah. So that's the trade-off. But Burke's done a great job of redoing that stadium, and everything there is nice. Yeah. I suspect it'll just stay there because so many of the good track teams are in Omaha. But, Nebraska's track provides at least an interesting conversation. They don't. Now, here's what's interesting. The best tennis courts in the state are at Nebraska, and they don't hold the state tournament there. Mm-hmm. So, not sure why, but they don't. And those courts just sit empty for the state tournament.
Well, they hold it at Woods, right?
Yeah, they do, which is great. But
that's a fantastic facility as well.
The Nebraska tennis courts, the outdoor and the indoor courts, was good enough for a Challenger Series a couple summers ago.
Yeah, they have another one coming up in July too. Actually,
they do. Yeah, and so it's a pretty good facility, I'd say, and I don't think they use it. So Nebraska's facilities aren't used every single time.
How about I'll start with baseball, just because I know I have the propensity to get all emotional when I start talking about Coach Rebel. So I'm going to save my emotion here for a second.
Okay.
You wake up this morning, you see Nebraska top 10 and RPI, huge jump. I didn't know if they could make that jump. I thought Minnesota would. I mean, listen, it's a good pitching staff. They had been good all year, top 20 in ERA. college baseball. Nebraska lit them up like a Christmas tree. You putting that in the rearview mirror already, or kind of impressive with how they did it? They continue to play it that way, but is this just Big Ten tournament run or bust for you, or how are you looking at this?
Yeah, I think I would look at everything from here on out as College World Series, College World Series, College World Series.
Wow.
That's the way I'd go. I wouldn't think 1 second about the bumbling teams they've played for weeks on end, with the exception of USC. No, I think everything from here is, what do we got to do to get to our ultimate goal? And that is, when you play on Friday, you're probably not playing a team that's going to go, even in the NCAA tournament. So, play really well. And then on Saturday, you're playing an NCAA tournament team. It's the NCAA tournament. On Sunday, if you make it, you're playing the best team in the country. Visualize that as, guys, this is what it could be like. And then you go into, the regional, which they will be a host. Evan Bland's got a really good piece up today that, just lays out all the facts. They're going to be a host. Everything now has to be about embracing the stakes of the moment. They've done that really well up to this point. They did a great job those 2 weekends. I think they knew, hey, got to go and win. It can't just be feel good about winning 2 or 3. And they showed what you need to show to get where they're going to get, which is the regional host. And so now from here, everything's got to be dialed into. And by College World Series, I don't mean that you skip the steps. I'm saying everything from here has got to be, where do we want to go? Next pitch. Don't look back. We're not satisfied. Regional host isn't enough. Playing this random team that's not very good is not enough. Everything's got to be dialed in now. So I think you're going to see them do that. Now, whether they get it done or not, I don't know.
Sam, as you're looking at the, I'm going to switch over to softball now.
That's fine.
I have one more
You have
baseball.
more baseball?
I have
Oh, go ahead.
One more baseball question here, Sam. When you're taking a look at potential postseason awards, you can start with coaching. You can start with players. Crazy run in the Big Ten. I get it. UCLA's been a standalone. How we didn't see it with softball necessarily correlate. How represented do you think Nebraska should be in baseball?
Oh, I wish I knew exactly all the awards. I feel like, well, obviously Dylan Carey's going to be all Big Ten. He won't win Player of the Year. I think we all know that. I don't know is there a closer of the year, because that could be Jay Sean Unger. That could be him.
How about just to make all Big Ten as a starting pitcher? Joss is going to make a case, but there are some really solid staffs.
I think he's going to make it. Yeah, I think when you're the number 2 seed.
Did I say Jossa?
When you're the number 2 seed, and this is probably part of it too, is he passes the eye test. And so I think when people watch him pitch, they're like, oh boy, this guy isn't just statistically good. He's doing stuff that, he's doing it with a 6'7", 230-pound frame. Mm-hmm. So I think he passes the eye test. He'll make it. Rock will be the Player of the Year. I don't know who will be Pitcher of the Year. I'd love to see Will Vogt win Coach of the Year. I feel like that's going to go to UCLA's coach.
It's going to be a good race.
Yeah, I think UCLA's coach is going to win it. I don't know that I'd describe him as having done a better coaching job than Bolt. I don't know that he has, but because I think part of what you look at in coaching is you do look at close game record. And Nebraska's record in close games reflects, in my opinion, his ability to keep that team dialed in when they fall way behind. And it also reflects that some of these teams in the Big Ten are not very good. If you can't hold a 7-1 lead or whatever, you're not good. You're not. But it also reflects what Nebraska is able to do in the face of that. And so I think you have to take both those together. And I think Bolt has done the most with the talent that he has. UCLA has an immense amount of talent, and probably,
Yeah, zero discussion there, Sam. I agree with you. If you talk about who's done the most with Nebraska, I don't think it's close. But I mean, he was a 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. I think he won it in 15 and 19. And the Savage is no stranger to winning Coach of the Year award.
No, he's a good coach.
Relative to their team, especially in preseason. And I remember I was talking, Ravi asked, this was in the preseason, and we were talking to Ben McLaughlin, I think Nebraska's going to be pretty good. Now, I didn't see second in the Big 12 or Big 10, but they asked me why. And I said, I liked the arms. I liked the depth of the arms. I liked the potential of the pitching staff. I did not see their ability to rake the way that they've been able to do this year. They had to, staff showed flashes and came around, but man, when you look at how they're hitting, pitching, they're top 50 in all three categories, which in rare company, there, defensively, pitching, and batting. He's got to be Coach of the Year, doesn't he?
Again, I think he's made a really strong case for it, and I think that's entirely possible that he wins that award. And people acknowledge the coaching job, and UCLA wins the talent awards. I think that would be more than fair, and those are unquestionably the two best teams in the league. So we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
When you're thinking about
how about a guy that had Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer?
He did. He did.
I just imagine trying to deal with a 19-year-old Trevor Bauer's personality. But Sam, when you're talking about some of these like Coach of the Year awards and stuff like that, just in for you personally, how much do you factor in expectations coming into the year, right? Like UCLA had a certain set of expectations. They've met those expectations, maybe slightly exceeded with the gaudy record. But like, how much does that factor into you when teams exceed expectations in terms of like Coach of the Year awards?
Yeah, it factors in. It definitely factors in. Just to take it in the football world, if Pat Fitzgerald rolled in to Michigan State and they went 9-3, he's the Coach of the Year. That's just it. So, yeah, they factor in for sure. And that even if Dan Lanning goes 12-0, yes, and that's an incredible coaching job. Isn't taking a 12-0 talent and becoming 12-0. It would be what Curt Cignetti did 2 years ago, and that's expectations absolutely play a role. That's why Fred Hoiberg deserved to win the Big Ten Coach of the Year title. They way exceed expectations. As good as Dusty May or Brad Underwood was, those teams were expected to be great.
My buddy just said it's a May versus Hoiberg discussion.
Exactly. Yep. So Will Bolt and Fred Hoiberg are on very similar tracks, in my opinion. I think this is, both so humble, and he brushes so much of that stuff aside that he's not going to take any credit, and he'll deflect all the credit to the guys. But this has been a great coaching job, and again, you tip your cap to Bill Moose, who hired him. It was a good hire because it's turned out really, really well.
Now you may go to.
You ready to go to softball now?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
you asked
okay.
another baseball question.
I did.
You didn't have it out of your system.
No, it's okay. As we move into what I found stunning when I heard yesterday, the first ever Super Regional being hosted in Lincoln against a team in Oklahoma State that had kind of had an interesting last couple years. I think they fell pretty short of expectations last year, kind of getting back to, I think, where they think they belong this year. What's coming off of the regionals, what's the vibe for you going into this Oklahoma State series?
Oh, I think it's going to be a war. I think it's going to be, that's the word I use. It's going to be a war. Yeah. And so one thing, and I'm going to take this back to Nebraska baseball for a half second. One of the things that I think would be helpful for Nebraska baseball fans to think about vis-a-vis the regional that they're about to host is exactly what just happened with Nebraska softball, where Nebraska softball has incredible pitchers. But I think you saw that Nebraska softball hasn't exactly been playing the toughest teams on the planet for the last couple of months based on the way that they hit against South Dakota and Grand Canyon. Nebraska softball They beat UCLA. They legit did that, and they beat Indiana, who's out of the tournament now. But those are the two toughest softball games Nebraska played for a month. And so what you saw, I thought, was the sort of the flip of that, where it was hard for them to hit. And so now Oklahoma State's coming to town. Oklahoma State scored 16, 7, and 11 against a terrible team in Eastern Illinois, but Stanford.
Yeah, and they erupted against Stanford.
Mm-hmm. They did. Oklahoma State's not going to finish with 4 hits and 1 run over 2 games.
Mm.
So I think Nebraska's softball's hittings, they got to show up, because as good as Fromm and Jensen are, I think it would be unrealistic to expect them over 14 innings to hold Oklahoma State to 4 hits and 1 run. That would be, to me, that's unrealistic. And actually, Grand Canyon didn't score at all. So it was just 0-0. And I don't think that's realistic. So I think Nebraska's got to score. They got to hit more. And what you hope is that with this regional that they just had, and Grand Canyon's a good team, that now Nebraska's like, all right, we had our week where we couldn't really get it going on offense. Now we're going to kick it into gear, and just in time for a really, really good pitcher. So I think it's going to be a war. I think 2-1, 3-2.
So like the regular season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a total battle. But Nebraska can't expect to shut them out twice, is my point. Mm-hmm. They might hold them to 1 or 2 runs, but shutting them out, I think, is a lot. And so I think somewhere in there, Nebraska's got to find a couple of runs. And again, you're right. Oklahoma State fell below expectations last year. Prior to that, they had made 4 straight Women's College World Series, really 5, because they didn't play during COVID. Mm-hmm. So this is a legitimately good program that's not going to be intimidated, that's going to come up here, that played in a better league than Nebraska. There were 4 Big 12 teams in the Super Regionals. It could have been 5. This is not, so this is tough. This is going to be tough, and I think Nebraska will be ready. And if you told me it was going to go 3 games, it wouldn't surprise me.
So I want to go back to baseball real quick. I'm looking at the Big Ten tournament. There's no pairs of tickets remaining with currently what they have open available. How quickly do you think Schwab's going to have to open up more sections?
For which day?
Well, I'm talking about Friday, so I mean they
quickly.
Yeah, right. Are you surprised? I kind of am.
Yeah, I think they'll have to open the whole, as much of it as they can up, because if the weather's good on Friday, the softball team's playing it at kind of the exact same time, but that doesn't mean that there won't be a ton of people that go down there, and there will be. It's Nebraska baseball is a real thing, and when they're really good, and you've seen this before, as have I, and we saw it with the Iowa and USC series. There's just a lot of people who really love baseball.
I agree.
Who are looking for a team, right? And their major league team is 7 hours away, or it's 3 hours away in Kansas City. And all of a sudden it's like, all right, I'm going to go follow this team. And so I think that's kind of where it's going to start. And it's going to be really interesting to watch because, again, if that team gets a regional, it's going to be a zoo. I mean, they're going to have 10,000 people there, and it's going to be crazy. And I'm just telling you, Nebraska's got to be really dialed in from the very beginning, because that atmosphere could be overwhelming, and they're going to have to play. And it's going to be that way this weekend too. Like, go there and play every pitch like it's the biggest pitch of your life. Because, again, what happens is if you can get to the College World Series, and they have a chance, it's slim, but now they've moved away from that number 16 where they'd have to go out to UCLA. And I think that's good. I think it would be good to not have to play UCLA out there. I think it would be good even to go to, I don't know, Texas A&M or Georgia Tech, or like go somewhere where, it's a big atmosphere and you can quiet the crowd. They have a chance. And so, like, if they're able to do that, it's that lifetime memory that you just never, you can, Chattel did a column a week ago about the guys that were on the 01 team, and they still have a giant text thread. Like, those things never go away. It just remains with you. And so Nebraska has a chance here. I don't know if they're going to get it done, but But this is that team. You know, they may not have this team next year, so they got to get it done right now.
Definite advantage for Nebraska over their opponents, though, right? In terms of dealing with the atmospheres. You mentioned the Iowa USC series where at least they sort of have some reps under their belt with large crowds. I understand the one on Friday will likely be larger than either of those, but like most of these teams don't have that experience at any point in terms of their regular season, right?
Right. And Nebraska's won the last 2 Big Ten tournaments in part because they've ridden the energy of the crowd. They needed to win the Big Ten tournament last year to make it, and they did. I mean, they went and they beat a great UCLA team. So yeah, I mean they know how to do it, and I think they've won the last 2, and maybe they won 3 overall there. So they're not intimidated. They'll do really well in that environment. It's just everything from here on out. I think the stakes go up. I do think there was a little bit of, like, hey, this is a good program, going to be on the road for the regional. Maybe, we'll roll the dice and see if we get there. But I've always felt like when they went to these road regionals in the last several years, they got into the 3rd day and things got a little out of hand. And it was almost like, you know what, we kind of knew. This is the team that obviously is not satisfied with just being good. You don't come back as many times as they have and be satisfied with just being good. And so they clearly want to take this thing to the next level. And here it is. And you start it this week. If they lose to UCLA on Sunday, there's no whatever in that. That could happen, and there you go. They'd have to figure out who they want to pitch, because if they get to day 3,
want them to get there.
What's that?
I just want them to get to that position.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, you get to Sunday, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
But like, how do you think through that process of do you throw Carson on Friday? Probably you do. I think you try to keep everything in the usual mode, and so you just kind of try to figure it out, and then you get to Sunday. And my point being that if they get to Sunday, and I guess is Ty Horns now pitching on Sunday, and Ty doesn't have the best game, there's no shame in that. What you hope you do is you just play really, really hard and really well. And again, I think they got the regional locked up. I don't think there's any question of that. So at this point, it's about making sure that you're playing, you're just your best baseball.
Sam, let me get a couple football questions in. We talked to Coach Wade last week, hoping to talk to Coach Snow tomorrow. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that. But a couple things. And I know it's not popular to be optimistic, but I would say of media guys, you've been bullish on this offensive line for a little bit of time. I don't know if it's been out loud, but certainly with me, I know on this show and us, Coach Wade was saying some interesting things about like run game, being specific, tailoring it to the strengths, the athleticism, and it sparked a discussion after we let him go. We were talking about Nebraska in the red zone because Coach Wade said something to the effect of, hey, we want to do a couple things well. We don't want to be sprinkling a little of a lot. And if we can't get it inside, we got ways to get it to the perimeter, and we can get numbers with the quarterback. And it immediately got me thinking to red zone, where playing 11 on 11 is really, really tough as a defensive guy when you can run the ball in the red zone. They're very creative with some of the line teams that we saw towards the end of spring. Are you even remotely able to think about in May if Nebraska has run game elements from the quarterback spot in the red zone, what it could mean for them offensively with this offensive line?
Sure. Yeah, I think they have the ability to widen their play selections down there, so it's not just Emmett left and
duo right, duo left. Yeah,
right. So I think they've got to find a way to. There's a couple different things. So one, what you would love to see is if you have 1st and 10 at the 18, which isn't easy. I mean, that's not easy. Is finding a way to get
deal.
No, or let's just say 1st and goal at the 9.
Okay.
1st and goal at the 9 is hard. And can you get 6 yards? And can you get it on the ground? The chances of 1st and goal at the 9 throwing the ball and finding that to work, you might get something out in the flat for a couple, but it's hard to throw into that. And so finding a way to score from 17 yards out on a run, or finding a way when you're 2nd and 3 at the 30, and you're not really quite in field goal range because the wind's about 12 mile an hour against you. And what you really need is a play that's going to get you down to the 20. So you got your 3, and then you can do a whole bunch of things. Opening up that playbook in the run game will help them to create a play, and whether it's Calandria keeping it or he's giving it to a back, on a counter play, or a play where there's leads. I would encourage people. I'm not encouraging people to spend their time on YouTube today watching this, but if you go back and you watch like Nebraska's run game under Barney Cott, I think you're going to see a lot of cool stuff that Nebraska used to do with Taylor Martinez as the running quarterback and the guys behind him and pulling linemen. People can go back and watch that, and they'll be like, wow. I mean, Nebraska actually did some pretty innovative stuff. They kind of junked all that. They got rid of it when they let go of Bo and they let go of Tim Beck and Barney. And then they switched to a kind of, a very, very basic run game model with Riley, where they weren't running a whole bunch of things. And now I think they're going to go back to something that's a little bit more diverse. There's always a little bit of risk with that. But I think they're going to go back to having more in their playbook. I listened to the interview that you guys did. It was great. I agree that you want to get good at a couple of things, and I think they will. But I also think that what Nebraska got good at last year was, Emmett, and they got good at it. They got good at it, right? Like a tight zone, or as Dana would say, or the dual play that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But what you want is you want to get good at a play where the quarterback's a threat. And the quarterback wasn't a threat on any of those plays. He was just handing it off. And so I'd like to see Nebraska get back to an offense that's dangerous in that way. They did some of that under Frost, and I think they will. So, again, the optimism that I have for what's going on with the program right now is they spent money on their offensive line. I think they're serious about that position in a way that maybe they weren't as serious before. And I think they're serious about changing the way that they look at the offense. And I think that's good. But I also feel like you're going to see some moments on that offense where Dana is like, all right, we're going to crank it up here for 3 or 4 plays. And they got the quarterback that can do it. And I think one of the things that we didn't talk as much about with Anthony, we talked a lot about his athleticism. But I think what they believe is that he can come in and he can move the offense very quickly. And sometimes Dylan did not. I mean, he just didn't.
That way. I agree with you. They certainly practice with purpose and pace. I was pleasantly surprised given some of the newness of the offensive pieces. I think you're right.
I think that you want to use – I don't think they want to just go full, bore tempo, but I think they want to use it strategically. And I think – I'll give you an example. Iowa used it brilliantly in the last drive of the first half against Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
Where it looks like they're going to kind of go into halftime and they get that one little play and then they get a first down and boom, they're right up on the line of scrimmage and they hit a 33-yarder.
And Nebraska was misaligned. I wanted them to use a timeout. Oh, that is a great call, Sam. I was like, they just got tempoed by a team that doesn't enjoy tempo.
And that's how you use it, right? Is you use it when people don't expect it, or it's I don't even know what game it is, but second quarter, it's 10-7. You feel like you got a first down. All right, let's go. Let's get 3 or 4 plays right in a row. Don't let them sub. And then all of a sudden you're inside the 30 and you can slow the tempo back down because you want to get the right play and all that stuff. So I never felt like they consistently got into that. When they did, often it was when they were behind or they had no choice. And Dylan was probably better in some circumstances. Like he against Maryland, when they didn't have a choice and they finally started having to play fast, it looked pretty good. And, but I don't always know if Dylan could get him into that speed or I'm not exactly sure. It was always a little bit of a mystery with Dylan. I think they were trying to protect him. I think they cared about him and they didn't want to put it all on him. And nobody wants to now either. But there are things that I think Calandra is just way advanced on. The way I'd put it is, he's a 400 level player on certain areas that I don't think Dylan had gotten to. And I think Calandria can be that kind of catalyst where you're like, okay, this guy can do this, this, and this. And let's let him do that. And let's do it at a quick tempo. And we got the line that can execute it and all the other things. So I feel really good about the offense. On the defensive side of the ball, the question is not whether they're going to play hard. I think they're going to, but whether they're able to be paired with an offense that can score and hold up over the course of a game. Because let's say, for argument's sake, they're facing 73 plays instead of 57. Because there was a lot of times last year Nebraska's defense was facing 55 plays, and they didn't play them very well, but they were underexposed. Well, if they have an offense that can score, they're going to face more plays, and how do they handle that? Not whether they play hard, but do they wear down?
Yeah, the other thing, and I'll get you out of this, is along those lines with defense, and I think we're forgetting a lot about guys like Anthony Jones and who I really like. I like Whittington. I like some of the mature younger guys along the D line coming along with guys like Keona Davis and Van Poppel and LaFotu, and there's names, right? I think this will be the best football we've seen from Cam Lenhart. You and I have talked about kind of narrowing down his scope as an edge guy. The thing I think I like the most, Coach Wade brought up in a roundabout way when I asked him about early spring. He broke down, because I always say, and there it is, as Justin Parrish gets his Nebraska offer. Weird. Never mind. Okay, so Sam, that is great. When you look at how Nebraska finished the spring, you heard Coach Wade say, well, we really didn't even put in counter in some of these games until the last week of spring. But now we have film, we have tape, we have football. And I've talked for 3 months about 4 months of OTAs, because that was always the plan, right? I want football on the back end so we can teach and do our install. I called these next 4 months the most critical time of Coach Rule's tenure with these OTAs. You got to be kind of excited if you think you have football guys in the building where they will just be doing football stuff for this long. Yes. They have, like, they know where they were deficient. They know where they feel like they were good. Now they just have time.
They do. And it has to be productive time. And there's also, I'm sure they'll get, some breaks in there where they're not grinding away. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a team that has an opportunity to build an identity that's maybe a little different than last season, for various reasons, which we've all talked about. Just didn't feel like that was quite a Matt Rule team last year. And I think he's acknowledged that maybe it just got it was a little bit different than he's normally done it. And for whatever reason, and now they're a little bit closer to what I think he came here, his original vision when he came here. And maybe that was Dylan moving on. Maybe that was, I think it's more the defensive culture. And he went out and got guys that coached at South Dakota and Miami of Ohio. And he went out and got guys that are coaches, like that aren't necessarily scheme guys, but like they believe in what he believes, which is, football at this level is won through development and through maturity and through growth, and not necessarily, what happens at the NFL, which is everybody's great. And it really does come down to execution and the scheme and the play call and the quarterback every time. I think, Rule has dialed this thing in. So now they just have to kind of work through the process, and they've got to go out and do it. And then they're going to face teams that are really good. And that's the other thing, is you face teams that are really good in the Big Ten. And, I've been listening to, obviously, a lot of Indiana, and Cignetti's been talking. And the reality is Kurt Cignetti lives that life too. So he's coaching his players to do the exact same things that Nebraska wants to do. And Indiana's been a little bit better at it, a lot better at it. And so you got to go and find ways to beat teams that are on the same path as you are. I do wish that last season they had figured that out a little bit better, because I think last year they had the talent to win a couple of more games than they did, but they didn't win them. And so you can't do anything about the past. And now you got to try to figure out, okay, we kind of know who we are again. So let's go and get that done. And you do it against teams that are also really good.
That's Sam McKewon, Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Sam.
That is Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Let's take a quick break, and then I want to get into some of the red zone stuff you were talking about.
Is that our film study this week?
I've got a little more
ready
defense I want to do first.
Oh, you're so selfish.
But I do want to get into the red zone offense at some point. With Calandria and mobile quarterbacks.
I got you. We need to talk a little bit about Parrish too. A lot of misnomers about recruiting.
Yeah, we can get into Parrish.
And again, much like Purify, you want a team doing their due diligence.
Yeah, at some point
you just do.
I need to ask, and maybe Tim is the right guest for this. I want to ask him about the process Nebraska goes through with local recruits, with local
because you don't want to put me on the spot.
100%. Yep. Also, I know you know the west side of it really well.
I could pick a school. I pick a school.
I don't want to put you on the spot. We'll take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Nissan. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum starting at $349 a month. A platinum lease for less this May. 2 Nissans, 2 great deals. Only at Edwards. We've also got the 2026 Nissan Pathfinder SV starting at $399 a month. Another win for May. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Nissan.
Well, like for our staff, it's a lot of extra work, and I said, this is a first world problem. Getting to have that success and to have softball continue to play here, but it's great for the community. The hotels are filled in late May. We get to show off. A lot of the coaches have been telling us I had no idea what to expect, and I get here and there's Haymarket, and there's our hotel, and there's our indoor warm up, and here's this track, and it's one of the best track setups in the country. So I think sometimes we didn't even appreciate maybe what we've got until all these folks come in and start telling us. Well, it's been a really, really good year, obviously, in a lot of ways, and both genders. But I think part of it is we've got really good coaches here, and they've done a good job recruiting. And in some ways, this new world of athletics, it's some of our advantages are starting to help us a little bit when it comes to having both Diamond Sports. I think baseball will host having both Diamond Sports in that position. And outside of the West Coast schools, and I don't think that anybody else in the Big Ten's in that position. And that's the other piece. The West Coast schools actually raise the bar for us in a lot of sports that I would say we tend to excel in. And so I think anything to raise the competitive level helps us, and it's starting to show up for our teams all throughout the year.
It's like you think it would be. It's very frustrating. It was nice that we could get through yesterday with keeping Oakley fresh, and because we're trying to do damage here, not just try to get to the last day, but trying to win the game. And so it was set up nice for us. But yeah, it's very frustrating when we don't get anything going offensively. And I felt like we had our chances in this game early. We didn't execute the bunt to put pressure on them and move the runners over. And so that hurt us, obviously. And then I felt like when we were finally starting to see Jensen, she was only 64, 65. Her velo wasn't what was getting us. It was her up and her down going together. They did such a good job this whole week going up and down that both of them the change was dominant for them. That was their dominant pitch. And so it makes her seem harder than she is. But we had our chances. And then right when I felt like, all right, we got the right part of the order coming up to run into one, then of course Rhonda makes the move and slams the door in our face. And so, yeah, it was very frustrating.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Chevrolet. Save $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST, a truck deal worth celebrating. 2 Chevys, 2 ways to save, this May only. We've also got the 2026 Chevrolet Trax 1RS starting at $299 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
2 days ago, I'm laying on the floor with my back seizing, and I sat there and cried with my parents and told them I didn't think I was going to be able to come out here and do what I did today. I didn't think I was going to be able to even take a jump on that runway. And as soon as I got out there, I knew that God had me, and I knew that I had to put the team on my back and go at all costs. And
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ, reminding you, give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. If you mention that DB and I sent you, or that you came from Hurrdat Sports Live, you can get a free consultation when you call and set up an appointment to get started over at Next Gen. Just tell them what's going on. It's risk-free with the free consultation. Let them know how you're feeling, whether you need to lose a little weight, get on one of those GLP-1s. They do testosterone service for men and women, not to mention all the peptides that we love so much.
How are your estrogen levels?
I don't even know, man.
I don't even know.
I don't even recognize what we're doing. I haven't checked lately. I probably need to go get blood work done again.
No, I just had mine. I think I'm 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I've got to stick you. She's like, don't. Basically, I don't even need the rubber band thing. She's like, oh, I know you're a bleeder. Like, yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah. You got a peptide.
Yeah.
In, and they acted like I was speaking Portuguese when I wanted it. And they said, you have to give us 2 weeks notice. And I said, but if I was Robbie, I wouldn't have had to. She's like, it's just on back order. I was like,
because it's popular. That's the cousin, Tessa Moreland.
You're a jerk.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. They're nice, though. Give them a call, 402-614-9700. It's Next Gen Male Medical. What's the, what do you mean I'm a jerk? I'm nice. I'm always nice.
Yeah, but of course, I think since I spend the most time there, I should get preferential treatment.
But I am the one that causes them the least amount of headaches. So I think that's a factor here.
I'm just fun. That's what I tell myself.
The term they used was high maintenance. Their words, not mine.
I mean, just because they have to draw the last little bits out of the vials for me, I don't want to be wasteful.
No, it's not your fault. I've been drawing stuff out of vials for much longer than you have.
So I do have a question.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to, is it easiest inside the circle?
What do you mean?
Of the vial to poke the.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have baby needles.
Yeah.
Those jokers bend.
Yeah. You gotta be careful.
Oh, of course.
You gotta be real careful.
I feel like a welder with goggles. I'm literally in there like, it's like Shane's sex life. I'm like, is this thing in? You know what I mean? And it just.
Why are you spying on me?
My dude. Love you, bud. God dang it.
Oh, no. So I went to the Mavericks baseball game this weekend.
Wow. Come on, man.
Get a little loosey-goosey sometimes.
It's Austin's fault. Swear to goodness, I'm not a blame complainer deflector.
I did hear
he
you guys.
Had me shook during the break.
I did hear you guys carrying on in the other room. I was like,
I'm more of a sausage guy, though.
What are we talking about over here? You want to talk about red zone efficiency?
Yeah, that's totally Austin. This dude's talking about glasses and shorts.
Nope, we don't need it. That's a bad idea. So I think people sometimes think
I do like Austin though.
I like Austin too.
He's fine.
I think sometimes people think when we're talking about Anthony Calandria and playing 11 on 11 in the red zone that we're overestimating the impact that could have on Nebraska in terms of their offensive output. I think some people are skeptical, right?
Yeah, that's my eye.
It's not leaking yet. I think you're okay.
Thank you.
But I wanted to, so I brought up some red zone stats, right? Because I wanted to get some solid numbers on this. So Nebraska,
Ashford and Simpson.
I'm sorry, what?
Solid as a rock.
Oh, I'm unfamiliar with.
And now I'm solid. Solid as a rock.
That might be outside my genres.
Yeah. Shane, do you remember? I shouldn't even. Shane, are we good? Do you remember Ashford and Simpson?
That's that. I don't know if that version, but there was a version that they used that for either Ford or Chevy commercials.
Nope.
Like in 80s or 90s.
That's not
Solid as a rock.
That's like a
really?
rock. That's
like a rock.
That's a different thing.
No, it's a different.
That's
song.
a different song, Shane.
Oh well, then I'm not familiar with your version there.
Oh, now he's bad again.
Ashford and Simpson were an American husband and wife songwriting combo.
Yeah. Solid as a rock.
That is some hair he's working with.
Oh yeah. He was different.
I don't really know.
He was Bruce Leroy before Bruce Leroy. Did you see The Last Dragon?
Nah.
It's not one of my better segments. My glasses are broke.
You doing okay? You gonna be all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wanted to get some solid numbers on the red zone conversions here.
Well, shout out you, Shane. You saw who won the Preakness?
Okay, so what's your point?
Napoleon Solo.
Yeah.
I asked about Napoleon Solo specifically.
You did.
Big Star Wars Han Solo guy, and he's short like Bonaparte.
Where's the foul?
I should have.
I don't like Napoleon.
There's a hand placement joke in there somewhere. Did you ever see?
I'm not
was
a big
Joaquin
Napoleon guy.
who played? Was it Joaquin Phoenix that played the role?
Oh, in the movie Napoleon? Yes. Yeah, that was Joaquin Phoenix.
Did you watch that, Shane?
No, I'm not a Napoleon guy. I don't like him.
Yeah. What do you got against the French?
Yeah, nothing, but I don't like Napoleon.
You know the tough part here?
What?
Napoleon is actually taller than Shane.
Oh, he's not. He's 5'4", right?
5'6".
Oh yeah.
So he's like Tom Cruise size.
Shane's not 5'4" anyway.
Shane, you got Shane, I'm cool. I'm gonna
Why
the rest of the show.
Why does height have to come into it?
Because he's
I
brought
agree.
up because you brought it up.
I need to chill.
I'm trying to talk about red zones over here, and you're like Napoleon Solo.
Shane, we're gonna get back to scoring, but I'll get back with you, okay? Go ahead, carry on.
Nebraska averaged just over 4 red zone attempts a game last year.
Okay.
That would put them in the same neighborhood as Miami and Oregon in terms of red zone attempts.
Yeah.
Is that a neighborhood you're being okay being in?
Yeah,
for offenses.
Right. I said they routinely get inside the 20.
Indiana, really good offense, right?
We think.
Only had 0.7 more red zone attempts per game than Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 1 more extra attempt per game than Nebraska.
I love this.
So here's where it becomes a problem, though. So Nebraska on pure attempts, even though 15 of these teams played more games than Nebraska, top 40 in the country in red zone attempts. And 15 of those teams played more games than Nebraska, the teams ahead of them. In terms of scoring percentage, this is where it starts to become a problem. Nebraska is 65 in scoring percentage. You want to guess where they're at for touchdown percentage?
They're bottom 30% in the country.
They're 95.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about here. If you can get the 65 and the 95 into the top 40, we're having a totally different conversation about the Nebraska offense.
So I think people don't believe me when I say, because I try to give real data, and I think it's hard for sometimes people to get their minds around. Nebraska can get inside the 20 all the time.
Yeah.
Your numbers say I'm right?
And if I'll say
They
if
can't-
Nebraska didn't have their backup quarterback in for 4 games, the numbers would have been even more dramatic.
They cannot score touchdowns
In the red
inside the red
Yeah.
zone. So all I was asking for per trip to the red zone,
like 3 more points,
like anywhere from 2.5 to 3 more points inside the red zone. Where would that put them in terms of efficiency scoring? Top 20
So that's 12 more points per game. Let me do a quick
per
Google here.
number of trips in the red zone, right? Use the low end. Use 2.5 more points.
So it's 10 more points a game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look real quick where 10 more points per game would put them nationally. If you give me a second here.
Good. Is that Crosby? Shane, is carry on my way? That's Crosby, Stills, and Nash, correct?
That's Kansas. Pretty good considering that.
No,
wasn't
Kansas is the dust in the wind people, right?
Same people.
Oh my, you my boy Blue. Isn't Crosby,
sure.
Stills, and Nash? Isn't carry on? I want to bet on that, but you won't pay.
No,
me.
I'll take you.
He was pretty quick on that. I don't know, man.
Carry out mail from Hy-Vee. I'll let you pick.
Deal.
I think carry on was Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
All right, I'll Google it. In the meantime, Nebraska scored 26 points per game last year.
Yeah.
That puts them in the top 70 nationally. 10 more points per game. So 4 trips times 2.5 more points per red zone trip would have put them in the top 10 nationally scoring.
That's it. That's all I'm asking for.
And having a mobile quarterback is a pretty linear way to say, hey, I can definitely see how this could happen.
How about this? Just one more touchdown a game in the red zone is just 1.5 points. So add 1 touchdown and just 1 more field goal. Shane, was I wrong?
Carry on my wayward son is Kansas.
Damn it.
There you go.
Does Crosby, Stills, and Nash have a song called Carry On?
I'll check. That's DBM
Because
Ravi.
I think that should be a tie, Shane.
We've got Arif Hasan from WideLeft.Football. Talk a little NFL coming up next. Got to get to your guy, Aaron Rodgers. Can't wait.
This dude.
More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Hyundai. Lease the 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE all-wheel drive starting at $339 a month. Big savings to start May right. 2 great Hyundais, 1 big May event. Let's go. We've also got the 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE. Sign and drive for $0 down, starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Hyundai.
Well, we got our wish. It was really the players that set the tone with that last year. So it's a player-led team, and just really proud that they're getting to be able to experience that and what they did today. You know, I just want to start out by saying Grand Canyon is a really good softball team, and they fought their tails off. I grabbed a couple of seniors at the end. They had tears in their eyes because, you know, you don't win 50-plus games and not do a lot of things right. And so I thought they were really a formidable opponent, and the fact that we had to throw shutouts both days. And I'll start with today. I thought Lex and Jordy together were unbelievable. Lex came out, just competed her tail off. You know, she did that in the Big Ten tournament too. The moment didn't get too big for her. That inning where they had runners at first and second with nobody out, and they rolled over the lineup. I mean, that's a tough start of their lineup because of how they could put the ball in play in so many different ways and the speed that they have. The fact that she got us out of that without any damage was really, I say this, it was a big girl moment.
So close. It's such a great feeling, you know, to be in a position to be second, tied for second. The Big Ten is a very competitive conference, and you're competing against some of the best athletes, not only in the NCAA, but within the world, really. So to be in the ballpark and being able to compete head-to-head with all of these teams and these programs, it's a great challenge, but it's one that we take on full steam ahead.
Coach, you talk about the Big Ten being one of the better conferences. On the women's side, probably not the result that you were looking for. A lot of points maybe left out there. Can you talk about the emotions going through your head and maybe the players as well, or the athletes as well, as some of these results have started happening?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part. And we often talk about this in our team meetings that, hey, there's going to be punches thrown. You're going to throw a punch, you're going to take a punch, and it's how you respond to those punches. And you just got to forget about, you know, if it didn't go how you wanted it, you just got to move on and move forward to the next thing and stay optimistic about what's coming next.
listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Arif Hasan from WideLeft.Football to talk a little NFL. Arif, how are we doing this morning?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
There he is. We're just hanging in there, bud. We're trying to get optimistic. We do this thing every year, and you can help us out during this segment. You can be like our human cheat code. We pick awards, rookie of the year, postseason stuff, Super Bowl champs. The worst to first, since it happens 90% of the time in the last 25 years,
it's tough this year,
is going to be extremely difficult, in my opinion, because there are a few good candidates. Is there anybody in particular you like to be able to go worst to first, and how much of the fact that they were last year had to do with injuries?
That's a really good question. So the answer is not the Cardinals. I'll say that.
I think you're safe with the Jets too, probably.
Yeah.
There's a few pretty safe on.
Yeah. The first that comes to mind are the Detroit Lions, right? I mean, that division is just kind of crazy and difficult to predict, and who knows what's going to happen. But, obviously they've won the division pretty recently before, and they've got like the same core of players. So always there's going to be that in contention. The Saints are interesting, also a difficult to predict division for maybe a different reason than the NFC North. But I do think that, the Saints are pretty excited about Tyler Shuck, and I think for like a good reason. Adding another receiver into that room is probably going to be pretty helpful for making sure that offense, works. I don't know, that's a really unusual division. So I think those two kind of come to mind immediately. I think if you were willing to give Cam Ward maybe the benefit of the doubt, you could say maybe the Tennessee Titans, but that's a tough one for me, just because I think the Houston Texans are just so talented, and the Jaguars did really well last year for a reason. So that's like maybe an outside shot. Other than that, I don't see, I just don't see it for the Giants. I'm not a huge Jackson Dart believer, I guess. So for me, I think it's probably going to be the Lions or the Saints that are the most likely to kind of hit that category.
Let me throw you a curveball.
Okay.
I know where this is going.
I want to make it about the other teams, though. Ding dong.
All right.
He's so mean spirit. I don't even know how we get through a show. Every day it's a fight, and then we turn around and hang out with each other. It's like the most bizarre thing ever. I'm not gonna make the case like die on this hill yet.
This sounds like the Browns.
It absolutely is the Cleveland Browns. Listen, I'm a Steelers honk, diehard. I'm talking 47 years of being a Steelers fan. There's this thing that scares me. If they get the quarterback position right, and I mean just upright and don't turn it over, they're 9 wins. And I get it, the season win total 6.5 or whatever. Baltimore's going through a little transition. I haven't heard nary a boo about the contract situation with Jackson. They're gonna have to redo that. New leadership. The Steelers are the Steelers. The Bengals, look, they address their defense. They bring all 11 starters back on offense. So they're kind of flying under the radar, in my opinion. But the Browns roster is so stinking good.
Okay, I will give you the Browns roster is pretty talented, especially obviously on the defensive side. They had the number 1, number 2 defense last year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, there's a reason that didn't matter, right?
Thank you. I just can't wait for them to roll out Deshaun Watson again, like he's been good this decade.
I'm pretty confident that they won't. But I guess if we could say, hey, Shedeur Sanders has some stuff going on, maybe he'll put it together kind of the year 2, and I can see maybe an argument for that. And they grabbed 2 receivers in the draft. They grabbed pretty high level offensive linemen. I guess I get it. But I don't really kind of see where the lift comes from. For me, I could see the Browns doing better than the Steelers, which I think hurts a lot of Steelers fans. There you go. Yeah. I could see that just because the Steelers were just kind of screwing around their way to above 500 for the past 3 years. And, I think we all kind of understood that to be some kind of like wizard magic for them to be able to do that. I don't think that the Steelers are that talented of a roster. So I get it, right? I see how you could get past the Steelers. I don't see how you get necessarily past the Ravens. I know that, you have to figure out what like the post-Harbaugh world looks like. And the Bengals, I mean, obviously injury can always derail the Bengals. It's done it in the past. It will in the future. But right now, given who they have, it's just a more talented team. Like when you bring in somebody like a Dexter Lawrence, you pair him next to Jonathan Allen, who, didn't have the world's most amazing season last year, but is still a good player, right? You bring in an edge rusher like Boy Mafe, again, not like, a guaranteed Pro Bowler, very talented player. I don't know. I think that they've just got a lot of juice. And so if you bring in enough of those defensive players, they'll do enough on defense for that offense to be as explosive as it can be. So I think the Bengals should probably be considered the favorites to win. It's hard for me to see the Browns getting past them. And then I think the Ravens, like, they're going to have to figure out what that defense looks like. But I think the Ravens, just by virtue of having Lamar for now, it should be kind of in contention there. So I see the Browns getting past the Steelers. I don't see much more than that.
So talk to me. You said you weren't a believer in the Giants at all. Let's put an assumption here, right? Let's say Jackson Dart is actually good. I know you said you're not a fan, but let's say let's say he's actually good. Let's say you're off on Jackson Dart. Where does that put the Giants in the worst of first if Jackson Dart is the guy they appear to think he is? Because I look at that division and I go, okay, 3 of the 4 teams under 500. I don't really know what's going on in Philadelphia. Like that, they always sort of seem like they're in flux.
Yeah.
How does that change your opinion?
Philadelphia's just really difficult because it feels like they should be collapsing like all the time, and then they have like 11 wins
every year.
Yeah. So if we like operate with the assumption that Jackson Dart is good, and I've been wrong so many times before, right? So sure. I still don't know where kind of the rest of that roster comes in to make them kind of more competitive than either the Eagles, which again, who knows, right? They could suddenly, I mean, Jeff Stoutland's gone. They could collapse finally. Like, it's all there, right? I do actually like the Commanders a lot. I do think that, Jaden Daniels healthy and with that roster kind of shaping up the way it has, that is something that you'd have to be able to get past if you were the Giants. I just don't know that the rest of the Giants roster, outside of like wide receiver, is there to kind of give the push that you need. Because you take a look at like the Washington Commanders roster right now, and it is like 9 new players on defense. I have no idea what that's going to end up looking like, but I do generally like the direction it's moved in, defensively. And Durante Jones, who was the previous defensive backs coach in Minnesota, we assume that he's going to adopt some level of the Brian Flores defense and seeing all those defensive players that they added, a lot of those are guys that I would like to see on a Brian Flores defense. And so I think, if anything, it's gonna at least be a chaotic defense. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know, but it seems like it'll be a good thing. I think that'll be a team that'll be tough to get past. But you do take a look at the Giants, and you see like this nice pass rush. Obviously, they have to figure out if they're going to trade one of those guys, but you see a nice pass rush. I don't see enough on the secondary side of things for me to think, oh, well, you've got, whatever offensive line, but you've got this quarterback that we're assuming is good. You've got this running back that we're assuming is healthy. I don't know what's going to go on with him. And you've got this really good receiving core. I don't see it as being enough to get past some of these teams. And then Dallas, I don't know, maybe
a heck of an offseason.
Yeah.
They look way good on paper.
That's the thing, right? Like, I have to admit that they look really phenomenal on paper. But it is Dallas. They've looked great on paper so many times, it's really tough for me to just kind of pin it. But, I mean, if I were to take a look at all of these rosters and just kind of assumed that the rosters will play out their natural talent level, it would be also difficult for me to look past Dallas.
All right, I get it. They have 13 rookies. I'm a little partial to Hafley just because backstory, he recruited the Omaha area when he was at BC, and a couple of offers in my household. So I like Hafley, but I lack objectivity. And they got 13 rookies, so that can't be awesome. But more apt that the Patriots win less than 13 games a year ago, or that the Dolphins, who somehow won 7, win more than 7 games.
I mean, it's entirely about this question of whether or not Malik Willis is actually good, right? Like, that's a genuinely interesting and curious question that we won't know the answer to. But it is helpful that, like, their GM, John Eric Sullivan, is from Green Bay, right?
Yep.
And so had a lot of opportunity to figure out internally what the organization thought of Malik Willis. And so the fact that it was one of those guys that ended up signing him, that's probably a positive signal. I don't really know what the receiving situation in Miami looks like. And that makes it a little bit difficult for me to be completely sold in year one for Hafley. As somebody who covers the Vikings, it is kind of funny to me that the Packers finally figured out defensive coordinator, then they had to see him leave. The Packers fan base has been mad about the defensive coordinator position for seems like a decade and a half, and then they finally got a guy.
Teams, and they hopefully finally fixed that, but didn't matter who their special teams coordinator's been. They
But yeah, like you said, so many rookies, being added to the organization. It just doesn't seem like a this year is the year they turn it around kind of year. But I do think that the foundation is being laid for that to be a team that's going to, surprise people in a really positive way and make that division like interesting again. It's been like a while, I think.
Arif, where are you at on the Buffalo Bills coming into this year? Like, I find them to be sort of a fascinating team where, like, it seems eroding is probably too strong of a word, but I don't think they're as good this year as they were probably 2 years ago.
I didn't think that last year, and there they were. So I don't know.
That's what I mean.
They're tough.
Is it just hey, Josh Allen is going to get you to a certain point in terms of regular season wins, or how are you feeling about the Bills now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to kind of distance ourselves from what we thought the Bills should have been or should be, and just compare what we think about the Bills now to the rest of the division. And I think when you do that, the Bills are a pretty good team, right? It is the case that they're not as good as 2-3 years ago. And if we place expectations on them like they are, they're going to be disappointing. Unless, obviously I could be wrong about that, and that would be nice. But I think it's almost unfair, not like really, because they're the ones that created the expectation, but it's like almost unfair to compare them to who they were 2-3 years ago and say that they're falling short of that. I think the window is kind of closing, to your point. And they made a couple of decisions that made that happen, like the Keon Coleman decision, right? They made a couple of decisions that helped accelerate that The fact that, when they went in all in on some of these old players a couple years ago, when that didn't pan out, now you don't know, you don't have a young pass rush you really like outside of Rousseau. You don't really have as much kind of on the back end as you might want on the secondary, right? So they bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't know how much he has left. You bring in D. Alford. Really, it's mostly the Christian Benford show, and he's a fantastic player.
He's a great player.
But I don't know that you have a bunch in the second. I guess we could see Maxwell Hairston kind of as he develops, continue. But I don't know that you've got a great secondary. So for me, the Bills have the ability to have a very explosive offense like they always do. But if they've got the ability to be consistent, I don't see evidence of that yet on offense. If they've got the ability to be consistent on defense, I don't see evidence of that ability yet. And at the same time, I'm still locking them in for 10 wins, right? Like that at least. So pretty difficult team to figure out. I think when we get into kind of the playoff conversation, we start comparing them to the other AFC hopefuls, which, who knows what that's going to look like. I don't know if the Broncos are going to be there. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be kind of the team that we were talking about 2-3 years ago. I don't know what the AFC is going to look like. But once we get to that conversation, we're going to be are we in for another disappointment? I don't know. And I don't know that they're going to do anything this season that's going to, undercut that conversation from happening.
I get it. They play in a division where everybody realistically can think wild card at a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, I honk for Kyler Murray. Significantly better statistically than we give him credit for, but I also agree he's as apt to give you a wow, that was incredible as where was he throwing that thing. But he's got a great quarterback whisperer. They've loved him in so far on the facility. Heck of a leader. O'Connell says he's bright. I pay a ridiculous amount of attention to them because I want to be right about Murray. They're really good almost every place else on that roster. They stole Dominic Orange, who I think is going to be fantastic. They got Caleb Banks, who's got a ton of upside. Defensively, they got a chance. Do you believe in the Vikings in an uber tough division?
It's tough for me. It's difficult. Kyler, I agree, is a much better quarterback than he's been given credit for. It's really difficult to find a quarterback that has a season as good as his 2021. And if we kind of ignore, the injury concerns with Kyler, which actually I don't think is that bad of an exercise to engage in. Who knows, right? He might not be that injured. I think he's talented. I don't know that the offense that Kevin O'Connell tends to design is a very good fit for what Kyler does. And so there's a little bit of an incongruency that they have to figure out. But I think regardless of that, you get to throw to Jefferson, Addison, and they just signed Juwan Jennings, right? You've got a pretty good, again, when healthy, offensive line, especially those tackles, right? One of the better tackle pairs in the league with Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill. And there should be something there offensively, right? They should be top half offensively. You take a look at that defense.
Oh, yeah.
They should be top half defensively. And you think, oh, man, you've got a potential top 3, top 5 defense, a potential top 10, top 8 offense. How is that not a playoff team or an instant, division favorite? And it's well, I have seen them play before, right? They have done this.
No, wait. They have a track. They have a. I can actually look at this, right?
They've done this, right? Fun. They've had really good defenses. They've had top 10 offenses. They've done it with, a bunch of players. And in fairness, the Sam Darnold year, they nearly won that division. And they would have if it wasn't for an outstanding, incredible season from the Lions, right? They were almost the top seed in the NFC. But I look at this Packers team, and again, defensively, I have no idea what's going to go on without Halfley, right? I take a look at this ascending Bears team, who in the second half of the season, were pretty formidable. I take a look at this Lions team, who technically, were last in the division, and I have a ton of difficulty seeing how they get past all 3 of those teams. I think in a different division, you could very easily, you place them in the NFC South, the Vikings are easy favorites, right? But I think in this division where the last place finisher has a really good shot of winning, and that's not because of how weak the division is. It's tough for me to take a look at an unusual situation where we don't know how Kyler and Kevin will interact with each other and what that offense is going to look like and if they can be consistent. The defensive turnover, losing Jonathan Bernard and stuff like that. It's tough for me to look at that and say that I'm definitely putting them ahead of like the Lions.
So I keep thinking about this, and I don't feel like it's been talked very much about after the initial signing. Are we not paying enough attention to the potential impact of Kenneth Walker in Kansas City?
I think that's correct. I think that they've had a lot of difficulty figuring out the running back position, especially in terms of consistency. And man, talk about a consistent player. Like, he's got explosive potential. He does a great job of getting 4 or 5 yards in nearly every play. I think that means a lot, and I think it takes a lot off of the plate of what's happening kind of receiver-wise, right? I think that the fact that Rashee Rice is not expected to go to jail this year is probably going to help out in terms of receiver consistency.
That sounds awkward, but it's accurate.
Yeah. Well, that was the biggest problem receiver-wise, right? Yes. So they've got a pretty...
Can I just say something real quick? Or I appreciate you letting me just hop in here. You act like Rice is Jerry Rice, though. Like, they just had Rashee, and I'm like, when did he become Jerry Rice? Where we're just like, oh, if he plays, Kansas, and maybe it's the Mahomes factor, they get more of the benefit of the doubt of the woulda, couldas than almost any team in the NFL.
I would say there's one more team, and it's in their division. They get the Chargers.
So I'm going to ask you about them. Okay. Let me finish KC, and I'll I'm going to frame the Chargers question a little different.
I think the reason that we're giving Kansas City a ton of play for a pretty good receiver, you're right, he's not like a top 5 receiver or anything like that, is because we've seen what they've done with truly horrendous receiving cores, and have been able to put like
Schuster alone.
So yeah, they get to put points up on the board with like the corpse of Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and whatever's going on over there. And now they've got a receiver who can actually like play the position, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, who knows what could happen?" Right? And I think that's kind of fair. I tend to have a lot of trust in Spagnuolo's defenses. I am really curious how this one's going to play out, because they've done well on the strength of their secondary for so many years, and now there's been a bunch of turnover on the secondary. With the trade, they lost some guys in free agency, but grabbing Mansour Delane, adding Alohi Gilman, who was
Rookie of the year, maybe.
That I think he's got a really good shot of it. Yeah, he's an outstanding player. I think Alohi Gilman, who saved the Ravens season halfway through the year, adding him. There's going to be something there. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I do have a lot of trust in Spagnuolo. We'll see. They still need to figure out their pass rush. They grabbed R. Mason Thomas. Maybe that'll help. And Peter Woods, who I'm not like the highest on, but he's still a good player.
Hey, listen, when he's right, he's way right. If they got the Peter Woods thing, like the 2024 Peter Woods, fudge. I hate to say it as a like they will have crushed the draft.
No, absolutely. So I think that there's something there defensively. There's something there offensively. I don't know. It's a good team. I'm super not a believer in the Broncos, which in my opinion makes it like wide open for Kansas City to kind of retake it. But I understand that I'm behind the crowd on this one, and so I could just be very wrong. But I do think that there's a lot of opportunity for Kansas City to win the division again.
I am kind of on that island with Denver, by the way. Like, we're just kind of ignoring they had a very weird offseason and just assuming everything's going to be cool.
And
now.
It always looked ugly. Like they
they kind of like scratch and clawed their way to this, and those things tend to revert back to the average a little bit.
I should have included them in this question, but now that I know how you feel about them, I won't. I was going to say of the double-digit win teams, 12 and 11 respectively. Maybe it's who, if they hit it on all cylinders, or who's more smoke and mirrors. Between the Texans and the Chargers, where there's a lot of quarterback discussion, except to the opposite. Stroud, it's, hey, man, just be good enough. And I think he's clearly better than a game manager, potentially. And Herbert, who gets a ton of the benefit of the doubt, but he's a regular season guy. Of the smoke and mirrors, or the we want to believe when they're clicking on all cylinders, who do you like more, the Texans or the Chargers?
So I guess it kind of depends on whether or not marriage makes Justin Herbert way better or way worse. I think those are the two options for him. I think he's either so distracted by the fact that he's married to this gorgeous, beautiful woman who
works for Stafford.
Right, yeah. Well,
He's way overrated. I'm just saying what people think about it.
Tom Brady was fine for a while.
Yeah, but
right, yeah. Well, clearly the marriage itself was not the primary kind of focus of attention for him,
it
right?
worked for Baker half the time.
There you go, yeah. Justin Herbert being in a music video is the least Justin Herbert thing I've ever heard, which means he's crazy in love.
Like his personality in a music video is just the most awkward thing on the planet.
Right?
Do you guys remember his pre-draft interviews? And people were like,
he's too quiet.
Does he even like football?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Who was the piano guy that came from Oregon? Harrington.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, he makes him look like a football savant. And I was wow, that's tough.
I remember Harrington wrote a piece that was like, yeah, I didn't realize it, but I just loved college ball and that was it. I didn't really. And I was like, all right, yeah, I guess thanks for letting us know, man.
So you're closer to being out on Herbert than Stroud?
No, I like Herbert a lot more than that. I just think it's like the whole, the quarterback relationship thing is always funny to me. Like what's going to happen with Josh Allen? I don't know. It's funny. But as for the actual talent on the field, I think Herbert has a lot of it, and I think Harbaugh's been good for him. I don't think if Herbert, obviously the injury was a huge issue, but if Herbert didn't have it, I don't think Quentin Johnston would have been able to turn around the way he did.
Yeah.
And so I think that obviously we're going to need to see more from Ladd McConkey in year 3 than we did in year 2. We saw a lot in year 1. I think that we're going to need to see a little bit more from that tight end group. They did add David Njoku, but he's just not the player he was 4 years ago, right? But the offensive line is, on paper, a really extraordinarily talented offensive line.
Especially when healthy.
Yeah, and that's kind of the concern, right? They can't figure out a way to keep those guys healthy. They draft guys who are healthy, who play 4 years in college, and then suddenly they get injured all the time, right? So there's something happening. But if that offensive line can stay healthy, it's an outstanding offensive line. They've got a pretty decent receiver core. They've got a quarterback, which I understand why the film guys sometimes make him a top 5 quarterback, and I'm not there, but I do think he's very talented. And they've got a defense that improved last year, right? I don't know. There's something there. I do like Herbert a lot. I don't really like CJ Stroud a lot.
You're in the majority, which I don't get. A legit OC people are so down on Stroud, and I think he's better than that.
I think that when you take a look at kind of what has worked for him and what doesn't work for him, why is he struggling in XYZ game? Some of those things you can kind of handle with an offensive coordinator, but some of those things, like the pocket presence, which I would...
Offensive line play, they stink.
It was terrible.
Holds the ball. He does hold the ball, though.
Yeah, he does. He holds up. He's one of the... out of the non-scrambling quarterbacks, he held the ball, I think, the second longest. The other one's J.J. McCarthy. That's not good company to be in. But out of the non-scrambling quarterbacks, he held on to the ball longer than I think anyone else. It's Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson and J.J. McCarthy and Damon. It's Lamar, you'll give it to him, right?
Yeah.
But everyone else, it's for what? Why are you doing this? Get rid of the ball. And like he's had like some pretty good receivers, right? Like obviously we don't know about the Tank Dell injury and how much that's gonna. But like Nico Collins is good, right? We've seen good flashes from like Jaden Higgins, right? And we're just not seeing it from Stroud. And I think a lot of that is pocket presence.
Yeah.
The offensive line, like I agree, but like did they get better at like Wyatt Teller is not the guy he was when he was with the Browns, 3-4 years ago, right? Keelan Rutledge is mean, which is nice. Like they've got a bunch of like MFers, right? In the draft. He's good. I'll give him that. He's good. I'm just not a believer in Ed Ingram. I don't think Keelan Rutledge is a year one pass protector. I don't think Wyatt Tillery has it. And I hate to say this as a Gopher, but like Ronta Ursery is just not it.
I know you're going to say Ursery.
He's not good.
So you know what it is? It's just really hard. He's he's one of those big guys that he just can't bend enough.
Yeah, no, that's it.
If you're gonna be that big, you got to be able to post and be strong.
Yeah,
he's pretty stiff.
He is. It looks like it's always like asking a lot of him to do any movement.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like not a good place to be as an athlete. Like it shouldn't look like an extraordinary labor to get you to do like a kick step, I think.
That's how I feel about Nikola Jokic.
You're such a hater. Or if I could say, man, I had some great over easy eggs today, and he'd say, that's as runny and soft as Jokic. I could be like, oh man,
that's a good bit.
Super peaceful to use like my leaf blower. Like it just was chill. Probably about as chill as Jokic approaches basketball. Anything can turn into a slander of Jokic.
I'll say this about Jokic. I admire that he is one of the best in the world at a job he doesn't want. That rules.
You guys, would you together today?
I admire that he feels okay taking those checks without ever apparently getting in any sort of condition. I appreciate that.
After the end of every season, he's like, I cannot wait to see my horses.
I want to see my horses.
I love that, dude.
Do you see the spare tire he was rocking when he ripped the jersey off after the series?
I was mortified.
I was like, bud, you need to start running some lines here.
Last one from me. Because they both, I'll give you three because they all were affected by injuries. I'm going to give you the Bengals, the Colts, and the Commanders. The Bengals, the Colts, and the Commanders. Relative to the division, who bounces back?
I think probably the Bengals, right? We've seen multiple years of a good Bengals team led by Joe Burrow. We've not seen multiple years of a good whatever team led by the quarterbacks that are expected to lead those organizations, right? And I'm a big believer in Jaden Daniels, but we've only seen like 1 year of like a really good, and so I'd like to see more. With the Colts, it's just like, well, we got half the year of Daniel Jones, and it was pretty good, but I think there was like some, I wouldn't say gimmickiness to the offense, but it was like solvable. Right. And by, before he ended up having to leave because of injury, we began to see it. The offensive efficiency started dropping a lot. The offense didn't change a ton. And I would love for like that to be wrong because I love second chance stories and I'd like to see kind of what Daniel Jones can do with it. But I think that kind of like this play action explosive whatever offense was fun for like the first 6-7 weeks. And then after that, it just kind of dropped off. And then we saw the injuries. So I think if I had to pick out of those three, it couldn't be the Colts and it couldn't be the Commanders. I'm going to take the Bengals.
You all in or all out on Jacksonville's 13 wins?
Man, first of all, I'm glad Trevor Lawrence didn't actually cut his hair. That was crazy.
Ravi would have been traumatized because he honks for Trevor Lawrence.
Not exactly true. I'm being mischaracterized here. The Jokic thing was entirely accurate. The Trevor mischaracterization.
I think Trevor Lawrence is less talented than his biggest proponents say, and way more talented than his biggest ops say, I guess is the way I'd put it. And so he's like a top 15-ish quarterback. Is that enough for 13 wins? Probably not. The defense is fine. I don't see enough from that roster for me to think that if you've got like an above average quarterback, that's going to take you to 13 wins.
Can I? Well, I got to sneak in one
Go
more.
for-
I'm
go
just
ahead.
entertained. He's so good. All right. Okay. So, we're talking about, teams wanting to make a move, or if they're moving forwards or moving backwards. Let me ask you a weird question about a guy that's played at an MVP level and a guy just coming into the league. If you're starting tomorrow, are you taking Fernando Mendoza or Jalen Hurts?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's interesting. I guess I need to know more about the offensive line and the offensive coordinator. That would change my actual.
Do you think Hurts is peaked?
Yeah.
Do you think? I think that question may stem from if you think he's peaked.
I think it also depends on how good you think Mendoza is.
I think Mendoza's.
That's part of the question.
I think there's some variance on opinion there.
I think Mendoza's quite good. I think Hurts is going to have a better year than Mendoza because it's Las Vegas. But I think if you were to put Mendoza onto the Eagles right now, obviously they'd have to change their offense a little bit. But I think that, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Why not? Who cares? I'm not gonna be held accountable for this. I think it would be. I think that Mendoza team would be better so long as you made the appropriate changes in the offense. I think that Mendoza team would be better than that Eagles team. But if you put Hurts on the Raiders, I think Hurts would be better than Mendoza would. I think he's got kind of the floor capability that his athleticism provides. Not to say Mendoza's not athletic, but like it's Jalen Hurts. That's going to take care of the fact that the Raiders are a bad team. But Mendoza on a good team is going to do more than Hurts on a good team, I think.
I defend both of them. So who's more unfairly characterized, Dak Prescott or Caleb Williams?
Dak. Absolutely Dak. I mean, I don't want to like dig too deep on Caleb because I do think he does get the short end of the stick, and I think that the second half of the Bears season shows that he's got the ability to adapt to this structured offense that requires him to be kind of more in line and in tune with what Ben Johnson wants, and he's got that great receiver core. But like Dak is so good. Like even if you get rid of the 2016 season where he was nearly the MVP, right? He still has that like 2019. He still has like the Dallas defense last year was so catastrophically poor.
2 years in a row, 30 or worse.
Yeah, and for the Cowboys to do what they've done, to have multiple like these 1,000-yard receivers, this like league leading tight end in receptions, their ability to put up points, I'm not gonna say that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens aren't high level receivers. They obviously are very, very good receivers, but like. Dak has to be good for them to score that many points in that context, given all of the opportunities that defense blew for them. I don't know. Dak is a very, very good quarterback, and I do think, unfortunately, he's on kind of like the downslope of his career, and so he's never going to get, I shouldn't say never, it doesn't seem like he's ever going to get that redemption moment where he's going to be able to like demonstrate he's as good as he actually is, and everyone's just going to have this impression of him that's like ultimately probably unfair.
Who do you guys think was the better hire between Ben Johnson and Liam?
Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. I guess
Ravi does a great Duval. It is sensational. But it's because he's skirting pom-poms for Trevor Lawrence. So I'm curious.
I guess Ben Johnson. I do like both of them, right? But I think Ben Johnson seems to have it more together as both an offensive mind and a head coach. Whereas right now, despite being a 13-win team, I don't want to like take that away from them. I do think Liam Cohen is more of an offensive mind than he is a head coach. And I think that the adaptability that the Bears have shown, their ability to understand what they have offensively and defensively and make sure that expresses itself well. Like that, there is more there from a coaching perspective, at least from what I've seen, than from Jacksonville, which is not to take away from Jacksonville. I think Liam Cohen's done a wonderful job.
Real quick, because apparently we're just going to ask you like 18 final questions. Somebody in the chat asked this, and I thought it was really interesting. What do you think? And I think this says both what you think about the roster and about the quarterbacks. What do you think would happen if Houston and Jacksonville just traded Stroud for Lawrence straight up? What does that look like?
Disaster.
Really?
For everyone?
It feels like for everyone. I will say Lawrence will do a lot more with that limited offensive line than Stroud will. And so I think the Texans probably that's really interesting. I think the Texans would improve, right? But I think Lawrence will look worse than he did in Jacksonville. I think Stroud will obviously look better than he did in Houston, but I think that would be like sometimes we have like these teams. We were just talking about the Cowboys, like this all disappointment team. We thought you had all of this opportunity ahead of you and you didn't get it. That would, I think, perpetually be Jacksonville under Stroud. I think that he's already demonstrated that he can't take advantage of a high level receiving core, and it's not as good of it's still good. It's not as good of a receiving core in Jacksonville. Especially if Travis Hunter's only going to be doing like 30%, whatever he's going to do, right? That I don't see it. Like, especially when it is an offense that likes to take advantage of the sidelines more than it does like to take over the middle. Part of that's like Brian Thomas Jr. just had to like get over himself and take a hit, but like, they do like he's a very good receiver, but like they do like to take shots on the sidelines and stuff like that.
Get over yourself. This is gonna hurt. Wow.
But yeah, I do think that he wouldn't adapt well to what the Jacksonville offense would need of him. So I think collectively both teams would end up with fewer net wins if you did that. But I think Lawrence would look a lot better in Houston than Stroud would look in Jacksonville.
That's our guy, Arif Hasan from WideLeft.Football. Arif, appreciate the time. As always, great stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us for like 45 minutes.
It's fast, man.
It does.
I talk me off the ledge and lighten the mood, considering I may have to put up with Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy together.
Rodgers and McCarthy, 15 years past their prime. What could go wrong?
Go Drew Aller.
Better than Will Howard or whatever was going to happen.
Just anybody but Mason Rudolph. I'm over that.
Rip, we'll talk to you later. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Peace out.
That's Arif Hasan from WideLeft.Football. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Nissan. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum starting at $349 a month. A platinum lease for less this May. 2 Nissans, 2 great deals. Only at Edwards. We've also got the 2026 Nissan Pathfinder SV starting at $399 a month. Another win for May. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Nissan.
Well, like for our staff, it's a lot of extra work, and said, this is a first world problem. Getting to have that success and to have softball continue to play here, but it's great for the community. The hotels are filled in late May. We get to show off. A lot of the coaches have been telling us I had no idea what to expect, and I get here and there's Haymarket, and there's our hotel, and there's our indoor warm up, and here's this track, and it's one of the best track setups in the country. So I think sometimes we didn't even appreciate maybe what we've got until all these folks come in and start telling us. Well, it's been a really, really good year, obviously, in a lot of ways, and both genders. But I think part of it is we've got really good coaches here, and they've done a good job recruiting. And in some ways, this new world of athletics, some of our advantages are starting to help us a little bit when it comes to having both Diamond Sports. I think baseball will host having both Diamond Sports in that position. And outside of the West Coast schools, and I don't think that anybody else in the Big Ten's in that position. And that's the other piece. The West Coast schools actually raise the bar for us in a lot of sports that I would say we tend to excel in. And so I think anything to raise the competitive level helps us, and it's starting to show up for our teams all throughout the year.
It's like you think it would be. It's very frustrating. It was nice that we could get through yesterday with keeping Oakley fresh, and because we're trying to do damage here, not just try to get to the last day, but trying to win the game. And so it was set up nice for us. But yeah, it's very frustrating when we don't get anything going offensively. And I felt like we had our chances in this game early. We didn't execute the bunt to put pressure on them and move the runners over. And so that hurt us, obviously. And then I felt like when we were finally starting to see Jensen, she was only 64, 65. Her velo wasn't what was getting us. It was her up and her down going together. They did such a good job this whole week going up and down that both of them the change was dominant for them. That was their dominant pitch. And so it makes her seem harder than she is. But we had our chances. And then right when I felt like, all right, we got the right part of the order coming up to run into one, then, of course, Rhonda makes the move and slams the door in our face. And so, yeah, it was very frustrating.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Mondays aren't always the best for people. Great way to turn around a Monday, though, to go get some pizza at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill tonight. Monday nights mean a 2-topping pizza for just $10. Great way to get your week started off right when you're, maybe you got the Monday blues. Go get a pizza over at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. 2-topping pizza, just $10 on Mondays. Make sure you go check them out. That was really good stuff from Arif today. Really appreciate that.
I'm just glad you got in your Jacksonville talk.
Well, listen, I think you mischaracterize my affinity for Trevor Lawrence.
Is anybody cheering more for a random than Kyler Murray than you for Trevor Lawrence?
It's not really.
You so bad want him to be amazing.
No, I really don't care about that because
He said no.
I've already.
It's weird.
No. Oh no. I've already established.
Oh no.
That his production has nothing to do with how I feel about his talent. So
I
just at this point, it doesn't matter what he does.
Dude, again, there's a lot of us that have fallen victim to a lot of misconceptions and false perceptions that have led to growing stories. This wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with his production, which is okay. It's fine.
I got you.
It's all good. So Heath actually asked an interesting hypothetical, and we've only got a few minutes here.
Our
so,
Heath? Ginger Ale Heath?
Yeah, so I'm going to allow myself
Big ginger ale
talk
guy.
a little NBA here, and people can just deal with it for 5 minutes.
Nobody hates the NBA as much as they proclaim. It's fake.
And I also think people kind of like these hypotheticals. I thought it was a good question from Heath. He goes, would you rather have the number 1 pick in the draft and any one player in the league, or Wemby?
The number 1 pick in the draft and the next, so in essence, the next best player?
Yeah.
Or Wemby? That's a ridiculous hypothetical.
Why is that?
I'm taking the 2-for-1 every day that ends in Y.
Okay.
I'm taking the number 1 pick in the draft and the next best player.
Who would the player you take be?
I don't know. I mean, Shea, Jokic. I mean, I may even listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this out loud, and Jacob Padilla will be running around his living room doing cartwheels. Like, I can't believe he said that. Shoot, at this point, I would take the number 1 pick in the draft. And I would Cooper Flagg is going to be really good.
So that's what I was thinking. If I could get
I mean, I rock with Heath, but I'm more mad at you for entertaining it because you need paper towels over Wemby.
I actually wouldn't take Wemby either.
Mr. Must-Watch TV, almost the best player in the league.
I do think it's a full-on outrage that he was 3rd in the MVP voting.
I know you do.
I mean, that five first place votes is like, oh, I guess none of you guys watch the other end of the floor. You don't ever watch defense either. That's cool.
Well, even Anthony Edwards in the first pick of the draft.
So I would take. So I think the more interesting question is, who would you take, both in the draft and the player? Because I would try and positionally sort of match it up, right? So if I took Caleb Wilson,
I don't like. Do I need to like Wemby more?
I think probably more than you do, but I agree the answer is easy. The interesting part of the question is, who do you take? I agree. You take the 2-for-1. The interesting part of the question is, who do you take in the draft and who do you take as your extra player? Because I think
I wish I could make a guy or gal reach their play hard.
It's funny you bring that up because you know who the 2 guys I would take?
Well, Debanza.
Nope.
Really?
I'm not even taking Debanza number 1. If we're talking about just getting guys to play hard, because I think that's the great.
Oh, you'd take DP. I was on a Trevor Lawrence kick. I had to slide it in.
I would take Caleb Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd take Ant.
You love Caleb Wilson more than me, which is very, very hard.
Yeah. I think Caleb Wilson will end up being the best player from this draft.
I want to say I pray you're right, but it doesn't do me any good because it will not be for Carolina.
Yeah.
Because he changed that floor dramatically.
Yeah, 100%. That, you know how bad that team was / would have been without him?
Yeah.
Not good at all, right? I think I would take 2 guys that are just absolute MFers. I would take Caleb Wilson. I would take Anthony Edwards, and I would take my chances from there.
So when did Ant jump? You like Ant's temperament. By the way, he had a great presser.
I like his temperament a lot.
He had a great presser.
It changed the same time where I was like, hey, I think I just need guys that care more and play harder than everyone else. And that was probably within the last couple years where I'm just like, hey, I can't deal with.
He does play hard.
Because you want to talk about, hey, can I get to a guy's potential? That's the equalizer, right? If you know a guy's going to play harder than everybody else, he's going to get to his potential more often than not. It's so hard to just squeeze things out of guys that don't have that type of motor or competitiveness. And I'm tired of A, watching it, and B, rooting for like, oh, well, if you do this, this, and this, and whatever. And that's one of the things I do like about Wemby is like, I understand his minutes are what they are because of his size and everything, and they're trying to be careful with him. That dude plays hard and he trains hard.
Yeah. Does it surprise you that he doesn't get 30 minutes a game?
I hope they get him to that next year. Like, he needs to be the type of player. And like, if that's the argument you give me on the MVP thing, where it's like, he just doesn't play enough, I'll hear it. Because that's fair. If you're just like, he just doesn't play enough minutes.
And it's weird because let's just say it's only 2 more minutes a game and he's at like 31 minutes. It's just something about seeing the minutes
20?
in the 20s.
Yeah. No, I agree. You're not wrong.
That's
that's
weird.
basically half of the game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
no,
how
I get
does this
it.
guy only play 29 minutes a game?
I would love it if you could get him.
And you saw it the other night. What do you have? 16 in the first 6 eye blinks?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, is this going to be it?
Yeah, he had 18 in 9 minutes, I think. And then he ends up with like 25.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree with you. Like, he needs to play a little bit more, and I'm hoping they can get him there. But that's
I like Wemby. I don't like
so I need him to make some better decisions offensively in
stop
terms,
shooting so many threes.
Yeah, and even when he gets into past the 3-point line, like he settles for fadeaways a lot.
Yeah,
like,
listen, and he should know, like, if he looks at any of his analytics, the closer he is to the basket, the better he is.
yeah, like, just he needs to understand that.
Oh.
And so that's
The data's not even close.
no, it's not. And like, the 3-pointer needs to be like a keep him honest thing, not a this is my default. And so I understand that he needs to make better decisions offensively. The reason I'm enamored with him is the absolute, like, Neo in the Matrix effect he has on the defense. It's unbelievable. Like, it's unreal. I've never seen anything like it. The effect that he singularly has on a defense and what the other offense is able to do.
Yeah, they're catching 6.5. Too many.
Yeah,
both games 6.5 and 7 seems kind of chunky. But you've already called your shot. You
I think
say
Cleveland wins.
Cleveland wins outright.
I think Cleveland wins game 1. That's I fully believe that.
I hope you're wrong.
Well, you always root against me.
It's not true.
I'm just glad.
I mean, a lot of the time.
I'm just glad we got. I'm just glad we got one Indian win this weekend. I know Taj Mahal didn't fare the way we wanted to, but we
our friend Napoleon Solo, he got busy.
We got Aaron. We got Aaron right. See, he's mad at you, but I get the straight.
He's not mad at me. He got a free dinner from me, and he's so savvy. He's like,
yeah, that was before the sex life comment.
I don't even know.
You got a fast car, and
I don't know how that happened.
I don't either.
I don't know.
I just was captivated by the fact I can't ever get that needle right without it bending.
Yeah, you got to work on that. You got to be careful. You got to have a soft touch.
Yeah, I think I just need to see better.
That's true. You should go to the optometrist. We've talked about this.
Yeah. So the black horn rim ones.
Yeah,
they don't even work anymore.
What do you mean?
That's
like they're
usually the one
still?
I leave around the house because they're very sturdy and durable, so I can toss and throw. And I don't know. Bella tried to eat them, and ever since then, they don't. I don't know if her saliva like blurred up the lenses, but I tried to clean it, and they all of a sudden don't magnify anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. They're worthless.
Well, just gotta go get some new ones, or go to an actual eye doctor and get real glasses. That might be a good place to start, DB.
Baby steps. I just found a family doc. You think I'm going to the optometrist?
Hey, you want to explain to Kel Jim again who won the golf thing?
I did.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I actually, if you want to know the truth, Kel Jam, I actually had more money than these two fools combined. So
now it's King Cap. Like, nice. Exactly. Nice humility.
Listen, the numbers are the numbers. I don't know what to tell you.
Ooh, soldier boy, tell them.
I don't know what to tell you.
I keep going with the wrong Cam. One time it's Smith, then it's Young. Cam Smith, he was
Young struggled.
Oh, I'm aware.
Not as bad as your boy Fleetwood.
Dude,
needs to get back together with Mac.
I think it was the Aaron Fitt reference with Fleetwood that jinxed the whole thing.
Do you want to talk about Justin Parrish tomorrow?
Yeah, but Parrish is again Nebraska taking their time,
got the offer,
putting their own eyes on it, not just.
Oh, they tell me he's good. Might as well.
Yeah. Parrish is a pup. He went with Will Shields.
Yeah.
On his app. Yeah, he needed a mulligan. We talked about Parrish. Nebraska's interesting. They definitely trust their own eval.
Yeah. I think I'm going to ask Tim about that.
Yeah, I thought more about like, well, why wouldn't he just? But I don't want to put anybody on blast either. So.
And I think Tim, especially with he's worked at some other sites with other schools and has
it's cooking A-Train.
No, I think he's talking about when you.
No, I know. I
shorten Peacock.
I know what he's. I know.
Okay.
I'm just trying.
Why'd you stress that?
Cooking.
Shane,
I'm
is
just
there
asking.
a little animosity building? He's chomping at the bit to
Thanks
get
for
in
reminding
there.
me of that.
No, I know.
Did I miss something?
I'm just mean to him.
For no reason?
No, there's lots of reasons.
Shane's smart. He has 2 Hy-Vee meals left.
Yeah.
And he said he'll let me know on Friday because he's good for about another 3 days.
That feels like a producer problem.
I'm like, three days from now? He's like, yeah, I got the burger.
Yeah,
man.
but
That's good for another 2 days.
Okay, so I've got the chicken fried steak one. I've got half the burger one, but I also got a full lettuce one too. So
lettuce?
Yeah, a full salad dish one. So that's like at least 4 days.
You only ate half a burger in a sitting?
No, I ate there. It comes with 2 burgers, so I ate 1 burger in the sitting.
Oh,
gotcha.
I haven't seen the 2 burger one. Do you get the buns or just the patties?
You get the buns separate, but you just get the patties with the cheese.
Dude, those patties are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bigger than this
Than the
Yeti
lid?
lid. Yeah, they're about this thick though.
That's not a bad sized burger.
Dude, they're big. They're
Yeah.
bigger than this. Yeah. Yeah. Shane, you need to look. Are you a Chinese guy?
It depends. Yeah.
No, he's from Iowa.
What does that mean?
Just don't ever get multiple chins. It'll be a joke.
I love Italian fat.
Early candidate for joke of the week from Ravi there.
Yes.
No, that's like a no kid dad joke. Like that was bad.
That was bad.
That wasn't funny.
I thought it was funny.
As the funniest guy in this show, I'll determine those.
He said no. He's from Iowa. He comes back from vacay just slinging it. All right, then, Neutron.
No,
Shane,
it's fine.
It's fine.
We'll talk to Tim on Friday though. I want to ask him about the in-state recruiting.
Hopefully, you'll forget by then.
Methodology.
That's fine.
Oh, I don't forget. It'll be on the rundown.
Shane, shout out your horse too, Napoleon Solo. I missed that whole race.
Yeah, it was dynamite.
I was at. I see what you did there. I was at Omaha baseball.
Yeah,
Mavericks.
So why did I? Oh, I called you about Ian.
Yeah, because you ran into him.
Yeah, and I was. Yeah, that's probably the only phone call I actually broke off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assumed because Ian goes to.
I had the pouty pants on. Your boy was like huffing and puffing, and my meal prep is screwed up this week. I thought about smoking. I had a rib roast I wanted to take out. I thought about smoking it just out of spite because Kobe thinks I can only cook in the rain like an idiot. It's raining out, DB. You can fire the smoker up. And I was like, damn it. I want to, but I'm not because it's going to be crappy weather.
Yeah.
But I dry brine it, salted it up. I got the tallow soaking in.
There you go.
I want to do it today.
Well, you might have some weather today too.
No bleep.
Unfortunately. No, it was good. I was at the old Tal Anderson Field.
I know. And see the old Swan song for our man EP.
Yeah, Evan Porter's last home game.
That was very nice. So that's where you screwed up your body, playing around with your friends, fraternizing in public, doing baseball and boozing and eating. And then Sunday you wake up and you're like friggin' in the Pharaoh's Valley.
Yeah, no, that was unrelated. It was if you want to be, it was multiple technology failures consecutively.
Dude, we got to fix that. Because that's
usually the thing that when it goes
you can't do that. Like we need better equipment.
I don't invent the equipment, man.
I felt a little tension. Like, I'm telling you, like,
It's not like operator error. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, sometimes the stuff doesn't work.
yeah, that's inexcusable.
Yeah, it's not my fave. Not a fan. That feels like a producer problem, not a Ravi problem. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I take it up with. It's usually either a technology or like equipment issue, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes the insurance companies are being a pain in the ass, which I love too. That's my fave.
BRG, are you going with baby back, St. Louis, beef? Beef ribs are all the phenomenon. They're so overrated. And people say they're smoking them, and they just mean like the first 1/10 of an inch, and then the rest takes like pot roast.
Yeah. Not a big pot roast guy.
Dude, it's like, look at the bark. And it's like the only good bite on a beef rib.
All bark, no bite?
No, you see the smoke ring? That doesn't mean it penetrated. It just I've seen a lot of misnomers. Look at the
What
smoke,
do you mean?
Look at the smoke ring. It's so deep. No, that tastes like Chuck. That's what that is. Oh, baby back. Good call.
I guess Shane's done today.
Yeah, he's over it.
He's like that Darren Peterson meme where he's just sitting on the bench. He's like, if I send you this, it means I'm done working today.
Dude, so we got a 4-day weekend. Maybe I should do something.
Not 4-day. We got a 3-day. We're working Friday. We're not working Monday.
Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday,
We're
Monday.
working Friday. We have Saturday, Sunday,
The morning
Monday
doesn't
off.
count. I got the whole day.
You got to show up on
always have
Friday.
the whole day. You only sleep 3 hours.
He said whole day. No, it's whole. Like, shut yours.
Hoe day is a different thing, right? That's a hoe down.
Never mind.
We should probably stop.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. We'll be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.